Chapter 716. Ning Shu then took Kai Anchi to see a psychiatrist. The psychiatrist did all kinds of psychological tests and didn't think that Kai Anchi had any psychological problems. Kai Anchi didn't think that she had any psychological problems, especially when it came to that aspect. After Kai Anchi returned home, she tested it with Wang Bo again. But as soon as she went in, Kai Anchi cried out in pain. Kai Anchi was in so much pain that her whole body trembled. Her whole body felt like it was being torn apart. She kicked Wang Bo away. Wang Bo's face didn't look good. Seeing Kai Anchi in pain, he asked, "Didn't you say that there was no problem? Why does it hurt?" "You asked me, how would I know?" Kai Anchi's face was pale. She thought that it was her illusion. She didn't expect that it wasn't like that at all. It really hurt very much. Wang Bo got dressed in bed and went out to find Ning Shu. He said to Ning Shu, "Anchi's body is still not feeling well. It still hurts." Ning Shu was a little surprised. "Didn't you say that it's fine?" Wang Bo fidgeted with his hair. "I don't know what's going on." Ning Shu pursed his lips and said, "Go to the big hospital to have a look." Wang Bo could only nod. "Let's go and have a look." Wang Bo's work couldn't be delayed. Ning Shu could only take Kai Anchi to the hospital for a checkup. They checked again and again, but there was no problem. They repeatedly consulted the psychiatrist, but the result was that there was no problem. Kai Anchi couldn't believe that she would encounter such a thing. After such a thing happened, she couldn't enjoy the joy that a woman should have. For Kai Anchi, it was a nightmare. What was the use of having a pretty face? Kai Anchi always felt that it might have happened because the partner was Wang Bo. If it was another man, it wouldn't have happened. Kai Anchi dressed herself up and was about to go out, but she was stopped by Ning Shu. "Where are you going?" "I'm in a bad mood. I'm going out for a walk," Kai Anchi said casually. Ning Shu took out a notebook and pen. "How many days have you not done the housework? I've already recorded it for you. Don't you want your name tag?" Kai Anchi immediately pulled a long face. "I really have to hand it to you. Can't you see that I'm not feeling well? I'm just going out for a walk, but you insist on making me do things. I feel like I should be ruined by you." Ning Shu's expression didn't change as he said, "Everything has been checked. Psychology, neurology, gynecology, everything has been checked. There's no problem, your body is fine." "How could I be fine? I just feel pain." Kai Anchi slammed the door and left. Ning Shu took his phone and followed her. Probably because she was followed by Ning Shu last time, Kai Anchi didn't look for a man directly this time. Instead, she really looked for her best friends to eat pastries and drink coffee in a cafe. Ning Shu was not in a hurry. He just waited. Kai Anchi was definitely going to meet the man. After staying in the cafe for an hour or two, the women left. Kai Anchi took her bag and went out of the cafe. She hailed a taxi and left. Ning Shu followed. This time, it wasn't the same hotel as last time, but a more hidden hotel. At the entrance of the hotel, a man was waiting for Kai Anchi. Seeing Kai Anchi, he hugged her and walked into the hotel. Ning Shu took out his phone and took pictures of the hotel's signboard. Ning Shu waited for Kai Anchi at the door to see when she would come out. Kai Anchi and the man entered the room and hugged and kissed. They fell on the bed. Kai Anchi's heart was filled with anticipation and fear. She hoped that her body would be fine, but she was afraid of the pain of being torn apart by a beast. Kai Anchi's body was trembling with nervousness and her palms were sweating. The moment the man entered, Kai Anchi screamed, as if an animal's sharp teeth were tearing her body. The pain was overwhelming. The pain in her body and the despair in her heart made Kai Anchi in a trance. The man moved twice. Kai Anchi was in extreme pain. She pushed the man away and began to put on her clothes with a pale face. The man's face darkened. He couldn't help but shout, "What's wrong with you?" I'm not going. Kai Anchi's eyes were filled with tears. She had already taken off her clothes and entered. If she said she wasn't going to do it now, wouldn't she be spitting out the duck in her mouth? How could she? Now was the time to take action. How could she stop just because she said so? The man didn't care about Kai Anchi's feelings like Wang Bo. He threw Kai Anchi onto the bed and pressed her down. The man entered without hesitation. Kai Anchi was in so much pain that her body started to convulse. The man was very satisfied. You clamped it very tightly. Then he started to move without any scruples. Kai Anchi screamed in pain. She felt like she was going to be dismembered and was about to die. Kai Anchi's voice slowly weakened from the initial screams to a soft moan. Kai Anchi just wanted this violence to end quickly. It was like walking in hell. Her lower body was already numb from the pain, but the pain seemed to be engraved in her brain. It was very painful. Every second and minute was unbearable for Kai Anchi. Every day felt like a year. The man on top of her was extremely excited, but Kai Anchi couldn't resist. She just wanted it to end quickly. Tears seeped out of the corners of Kai Anchi's eyes. She didn't have any strength in her body and let the man do whatever he wanted to her. After an unknown amount of time, the man finally released, but Kai Anchi felt dizzy in front of her eyes, as if she was about to die. She vaguely heard the sound of the man putting on his clothes and pulling up his pants. Before he left, he touched Kai Anchi's chest and pinched it hard. He said, "If you need anything in the future, you can call me." Then he left with a smug smile. Kai Anchi listened to the man's laughter and her heart was filled with hatred. She lay on the bed, motionless, and stared blankly at the ceiling. Kai Anchi closed her eyes and wrapped the blanket around her body, waiting for the pain to pass. How could this be? How could this be? How could she have such a problem? It wasn't because of Wang Bo, but because of herself. Even if it was another man, the result would be the same. She couldn't feel any joy at all, only endless pain. Kai Anchi's head was in a daze from the pain. As the pain in her body gradually disappeared, Kai Anchi fell asleep. When Kai Anchi woke up again, it was almost dark and her stomach didn't hurt anymore. Kai Anchi got up and took a shower. As she washed, she rubbed her body hard. She resented her body for being so useless. But what was she going to do now? What was she going to do? Kai Anchi's eyes were red. She put on her clothes and left the room. When she reached the hotel lobby, she was stopped by the waiter, who asked Kai Anchi to pay for the room. Kai Anchi was so angry that her lungs were about to explode. Why didn't that bastard die? He made her suffer so much and still wanted her to pay the room. Kai Anchi gritted her teeth. She paid the bill and stormed out of the hotel in a huff. Chapter 717. Ning Shu saw Kai Anchi coming out of the hotel and took 2 photos of her. Ning Shu also took photos of the man from before. Kai Anchi got into the taxi and went home. When she got home, Wang Bo sat on the sofa and looked around the room. He didn't see Ning Shu and asked, "Where's your mother?" "You're asking me? I also want to know where my mother went. Aren't you two at home?" Wang Bo asked Kai Anchi. Kai Anchi suddenly had a bad feeling in her heart. Last time, she was secretly photographed by that old woman. This time, it couldn't be that she was secretly photographed again. Otherwise, why wasn't she back yet? She was already so cautious. Kai Anchi cursed Ning Shu in her heart. It would be best if he died outside. If this old woman died, there would be no one to torture her and deliberately find trouble with her. Moreover, this house might be hers. Kai Anchi's heart was filled with hostility. "I went out in the afternoon to hang out with my friends. How would I know where your mother went?" Kai Anchi said unhappily. Wang Bo's face was filled with worry. Kai Anchi looked at him and said, "Your mother is so old. How could she get lost?" Wang Bo heard her say that and looked unhappy. "How can you say that? She's my mother." "Not my mother." Kai Anchi rolled her eyes and went into the bedroom. Wang Bo took out his phone and called Ning Shu. The phone rang at the door. Ning Shu opened the door and saw Wang Bo. He said, "I'm back." "Mom, where did you go? It's already dark. I was very worried." Wang Bo let out a long sigh. Ning Shu smiled and said, "It's nothing. I just went out for a walk." Wang Bo scratched his head. Both of them went out for a walk and it was so late. Ning Shu made 3 bowls of noodles. Wang Bo called Kai Anchi out to eat. Kai Anchi looked at the noodles and turned around to go back to the room without saying anything. Today's matter had already made her very tired and painful. She still wanted to eat this kind of food. Wang Bo saw Kai Anchi like this and called out to her, "Let's eat." "You're not eating?" "I don't want to eat." "I'm not eating." Kai Anchi closed the door, and then there was no movement at all. No one knew what she was doing inside. Wang Bo's expression was ugly. He couldn't stand Kai Anchi's willfulness. She had no scruples and didn't care about others at all. She only cared about her family. Ning Shu said to Wang Bo, "Wang Bo, there are some things that you don't need to endure at all. As a person, there is always advance and retreat. If you keep retreating until you reach the foot of the wall or the edge of the cliff, you will be the one suffering in the end." Wang Bo had always felt that he had married a goddess. Then he would worship her and give in unconditionally. Wang Bo sighed deeply. "We're trying to get used to each other." Ning Shu said, "You have to have your own bottom line. Let her know your bottom line. Your concession won't make her restrain herself. It will only make her more arrogant. As long as you're alive, you have to have some dignity. I don't want to see you endure it like this," Ning Shu said. "You have to advance and retreat. You can't keep retreating alone." Wang Bo sighed again. "Can you stop sighing all the time? I feel depressed when I hear you sigh. What can you do if you stick out your chest?" Ning Shu said unhappily. Ning Shu pursed his lips. "If Kai Anchi did something wrong to you, what would you not tolerate the most? What is your bottom line? If she crosses it, what will you do?" Ning Shu asked tentatively. Wang Bo was silent for a moment and said, "My bottom line is that Kai Anchi is loyal to me. I can tolerate her temper and willfulness." "Oh, as long as he has a bottom line." "What if she crosses your bottom line?" Ning Shu asked. "I don't know," Wang Bo said. Ning Shu slapped his face. A bottom line was not to be challenged. If the bottom line was crossed, what would he do? Ning Shu was speechless. "If, and I'm saying if she crosses your bottom line, what will you do?" Ning Shu asked Wang Bo. Wang Bo thought for a moment and said, "I will divorce her." Ning Shu looked at Wang Bo and said, "I hope you can understand your wife well. Her personality is too flamboyant, and your personality is too honest." Wang Bo was silent. When he returned to the bedroom, he saw Kai Anchi sleeping on the bed. He lay down and hugged Kai Anchi. Kai Anchi was annoyed. She was even more annoyed when she saw Wang Bo. She hugged him tightly. "It's so hot. Don't hug me." Kai Anchi pushed Wang Bo away. Wang Bo asked, "What's wrong with you? Tell me if you have something to say." But Kai Anchi did not know what to say. She said with annoyance, "Nothing. I just feel annoyed when I see you. Don't hover in front of me." Wang Bo frowned. "We are husband and wife. What can't we talk about?" "Husband and wife also have private matters. You're so annoying. I'm going to sleep." Kai Anchi turned her back to Wang Bo. Wang Bo looked at Kai Anchi's back. He reached out and straightened Kai Anchi's body. He said seriously, "Anchi, we are husband and wife. We are two people who will spend a lifetime together. I hope we can grow old together. Is there anything you can tell me?" Kai Anchi's eyes turned. She smiled and said, "Since I'm married to you, I naturally want to grow old with you." Wang Bo smiled. He wanted to kiss Kai Anchi, but Kai Anchi pushed him away. "I'm not feeling well." Although Wang Bo was disappointed, he did not force Kai Anchi. Kai Anchi turned her back to Wang Bo. She did not know what was wrong with her body. Anyway, she was married to Wang Bo naturally. She wanted to be with Wang Bo. Kai Anchi's heart was filled with despair. What was wrong with her body? She could not have children and could not enjoy the pleasure of a woman. Only now did Kai Anchi put Wang Bo in her heart. After all, her body could not fulfill the duties of husband and wife. Only Wang Bo would endure it. Kai Anchi wanted to say a few words to Wang Bo, but she had been high and mighty in front of Wang Bo for a long time. She could not bring herself to do so. She could only say good night. Wang Bo nodded and hugged Kai Anchi. Kai Anchi frowned impatiently, but she endured it in the end. Wang Bo was her only way out. She had to rely on Wang Bo. If she left Wang Bo, Kai Anchi suddenly did not know how to survive. She would rather die than have to do that kind of bitter work. Kai Anchi thought about it for an entire night. She was still unwilling. The next day, she decided to try another man. It only hurt when she had sex. She was fine the rest of the time. It did not look like she was sick at all. Kai Anchi still wanted to find a man to test it on. As soon as Kai Anchi stepped out of the door, Ning Shu followed behind her. She followed her all the way and took photos while she was at it. Ning Shu saw Kai Anchi looking for men so frequently. He could not help but doubt his skills. Chapter 7:18. Didn't Kai Anchi say that her stomach hurt? Why did she find a man yesterday and continue to find one today? What's going on? She drank so much medicine, and Ning Shu also injected a needle into Kai Anchi's abdomen. This method is called locking the palace, as the name implies, locking it up. When Ning Shu followed Kai Anchi again, he called Wang Bo and asked him to ask for leave from the leader and come back quickly. Wang Bo didn't know what happened, but seeing Ning Shu's anxious tone, he asked for leave. As soon as Kai Anchi and the man entered the hotel, Ning Shu told Wang Bo the address of the hotel and asked him to hurry over. When Wang Bo came to the door of the hotel, he saw Ning Shu and asked, "Mom, what's the matter?" "Come with me." Ning Shu told the waiter that he came to find his wife. He asked for the key and took Wang Bo to the door. Wang Bo's face was uneasy. Ning Shu asked, "Mom, what are we doing here?" Wang Bo could vaguely hear the voice inside, and the voice was somewhat familiar. Wang Bo thought of a possibility and his face turned black. Ning Shu opened the door and saw messy clothes on the ground. A man was crawling on Kai Anchi's body. Kai Anchi's face was pale and her body was convulsing. Ning Shu quickly took a photo. Sensing that someone came in, the man crawling on Kai Anchi's body immediately pulled out and quickly covered his lower body with a sheet. Kai Anchi was in so much pain that she couldn't move. She just lay naked on the bed. When she saw Wang Bo, her tears fell. Wang Bo's body was trembling, his eyes were red, and he looked like he was struck by lightning. His neck was stiff as he looked at the man who was hurriedly putting on his clothes. Ning Shu took a photo of the man wearing clothes and said to Wang Bo, "Hit him. If he didn't do anything, then he wouldn't be popular at all." When Wang Bo heard this, he clenched his fist and punched the man. The man didn't want to be outdone. "Who are you? How dare you hit me, I'll tell?" Wang Bo punched him in the face again. Ning Shu closed the door and looked indifferently at Kai Anchi, who was lying on the bed. Tears streamed down Kai Anchi's face as her face turned deathly pale. She looked at the two men fighting in horror. Wang Bo grabbed the man's hair and moved closer to Kai Anchi. He growled, "This is your lover. I said you didn't want to come with me. You said you weren't feeling well. That was just an excuse. I'm your husband. I'm not as good as your lover." Kai Anchi's face was ashen. She turned her head stiffly to look at Ning Shu. "It's you." "It's me. Wang Bo is my son. It's time to let him know," Ning Shu said indifferently. "You have nothing to do with me. Why should I protect you?" Kai Anchi looked at Wang Bo's red eyes and felt a little scared. Enduring the pain in her body, she got up and tugged at Wang Bo's clothes. "Can you let me go back and explain?" "What's there to explain? Look at you. You're naked. What's there to explain?" Wang Bo's body was trembling. "Do you think I'm blind? Can't see?" Kai Anchi was forced by a man before. Her body was in so much pain that she wanted to die. Kai Anchi's heart was in complete despair. There was something wrong with her body. Now she was caught red-handed. Kai Anchi didn't feel sorry for Wang Bo. She never thought of keeping her virginity for Wang Bo. Wang Bo was just a spare tire. Kai Anchi was afraid of her future. Her body was her weapon of survival. Now she didn't have this weapon and Wang Bo found out about it. Wang Bo saw the traces of abuse on Kai Anchi's body. There were 3 people in the room. She was naked and shameless. But in front of him, she was noble and inviolable. The man who was beaten by Wang Bo took the opportunity to slip away. Ning Shu didn't care about him. He was just one of Kai Anchi's men. Wang Bo threw the quilt on Kai Anchi's body to cover her body. Ning Shu saw that Wang Bo's hand was trembling uncontrollably. He said to Kai Anchi coldly, "Put on your clothes." Kai Anchi could only endure the pain and put on her clothes. Wang Bo directly dragged Kai Anchi out of the hotel. Every time Kai Anchi took a step, her body would spasm. Kai Anchi was in so much pain that she was sweating all over and her face was pale. Ning Shu called for a taxi. Wang Bo stuffed Kai Anchi into the car and sat beside her. Kai Anchi opened her mouth and wanted to say something. But when she saw Wang Bo's ugly face, she closed her mouth. Back home, Wang Bo directly said to Ning Shu, "Mom, I want a divorce." He thought he married a good wife, but he didn't expect that she would cheat on him. "I won't divorce. I won't divorce even if I die," Kai Anchi said immediately. Wang Bo was furious. "Why won't you divorce? You can't divorce like this. You don't want to live with me. You can go find other men you like. Just once, just once." Kai Anchi tried to defend herself. Ning Shu took out his phone and showed it to Wang Bo. There were several times before. "There are dates." Kai Anchi looked at Ning Shu. Wang Bo looked at the photos on the phone and his lips were trembling. Ning Shu said, when she went for a checkup, the doctor said that she couldn't get pregnant at all. She had several miscarriages. Wang Bo's face turned green. He looked at Kai Anchi with red eyes. When Kai Anchi saw that Ning Shu had spilled everything out, she shouted angrily, "What are you thinking? Are you happy to see me and Wang Bo get divorced?" Ning Shu nodded. "Very happy." Wang Bo looked at Kai Anchi and asked in a low voice, "You said that you were in pain. Was that also a perfunctory reason?" Kai Anchi shook her head. "I didn't lie to you. It really hurts." Wang Bo raised his hand and wanted to slap Kai Anchi. However, his hand stopped in the air. Wang Bo's face turned green. "You said that you were in pain. You even found another man. This time, you found another man." Kai Anchi bit her lips and said honestly, "I just wanted to test if it was painful with other men." "This is your reason for being loose." "What pain? When you are with me, you are in pain. When you are with other men, you are not in pain." Wang Bo was so angry that his tone changed. Kai Anchi didn't know how to explain. Her body was in pain. Wang Bo staggered and sat on the chair. He rubbed his forehead. "Divorce. We must divorce." Kai Anchi immediately said, "I will not divorce. I will never divorce." "How can you be so shameless?" Wang Bo looked at Kai Anchi. His lips were trembling. His face was twisted with anger and sadness. "No matter what I say, I will not divorce," Kai Anchi said domineeringly. Her body was no longer in pain, and her spirit had also recovered a little. "Wang Bo, are you sure you want a divorce? Don't you love me?" Kai Anchi looked at Wang Bo. Wang Bo couldn't help but cover his chest. He was so angry that he gasped. "You have been lying to me from the beginning. I don't know about your past. I can ignore it. But why do you still want to marry me?" Chapter 719. Wang Bo caught Kai Anchi with another man on the spot and was determined to divorce her. Wang Bo was angry. He respected Kai Anchi and never forced her, but Kai Anchi was with another man. It was as if she was protecting her chastity for another man. They were clearly husband and wife. Wang Bo was so angry that the veins on his head were throbbing. He looked at Kai Anchi with red eyes. Kai Anchi said again, "I won't divorce you." In her situation, she couldn't remarry after the divorce. Kai Anchi hurriedly promised Wang Bo, "This is the last time, really the last time. If there's a next time, even if you kill me, I won't complain. I want to kill you right now." Wang Bo roared in a low voice. "You're still treating me like a fool." Wang Bo clenched his fists. "I really want to kill you, shameless bitch." Kai Anchi heard Wang Bo's insults and felt angry. Why didn't he look at himself? How could he be worthy of her giving up a large forest for him? Kai Anchi took a deep breath and asked, "Do you have to divorce me? Do you have to divorce me?" Wang Bo said resolutely. Kai Anchi looked at Wang Bo's resolute expression and sat on the sofa. She said indifferently, "Anyway, I won't divorce you." She said, "I won't divorce you. Let's see what you can do to me." Wang Bo trembled with anger at Kai Anchi's attitude. "Don't you feel any shame at all?" Kai Anchi's face didn't show any guilt or shame. She didn't show any apology to Wang Bo. Wang Bo felt that his heart was trampled into a pile of flesh and blood. "Mom, I want to divorce her. Now, immediately, right now." Wang Bo almost couldn't suppress the anger in his heart. Ning Shu looked indifferent and said calmly, "Calm down." Ning Shu looked at the fearless Kai Anchi and asked coldly, "What conditions do you have for divorcing Wang Bo?" Kai Anchi sat on the sofa and said, "Give me 200,000 yuan or give me this house." "Impossible!" Wang Bo bellowed. Wang Bo was so angry that he staggered and used his hand to support himself on the table. This woman had no sense of propriety. She wanted money and a house for a divorce. How could she be so shameless? Now, Kai Anchi's image in Wang Bo's heart had taken a 180-degree turn. It was completely overturned. He used to think that Kai Anchi was a good woman, although she had a bad temper. But he didn't expect her to be such a person. He had done something wrong, yet he was being overbearing. Ning Shu raised his eyebrows when he heard Kai Anchi's request. "You're the one at fault in this marriage. Are you sure you can get 200,000 yuan and still covet this house? It's fine if you don't want a divorce." Kai Anchi crossed her arms and looked at Ning Shu and Wang Bo. "If you want a divorce, you have to give me 200,000 yuan. Ning Shu had 200,000 yuan in his hands. This was the savings of the original owner, Yang Zi, over the years. It also included Wang Bo's salary. Yang Zi had saved all this money. When she couldn't take it anymore, she would give it to the young couple. However, if she really gave it to Kai Anchi, this 200,000 yuan would make her and Wang Bo's life much more difficult. Their family's wealth would be emptied. Wang Bo frowned tightly and his face was livid. Ning Shu said, "Mom, I can't take it anymore. I want a divorce. Even if you give me money, I want a divorce with her." Ning Shu pushed the agitated Wang Bo away and looked at Kai Anchi. "Since you don't want a divorce, then don't divorce." Wang Bo looked at Ning Shu in shock and pointed at Kai Anchi. "I won't live with such a woman." Kai Anchi was also a little surprised. Then she curled the corner of her mouth and sat steadily on the sofa. Ning Shu looked at Wang Bo's shocked, disappointed and sad face and said, "We'll talk about the divorce later. You're too agitated now. You're not in the mood to deal with things." Kai Anchi stood up and stretched. She said casually, "Since there's nothing else, I'll go back to my room and rest. Call me when it's time to eat." After they shed all pretense of cordiality, Kai Anchi seemed to have no scruples. Kai Anchi walked towards the bedroom gracefully. Wang Bo grabbed Kai Anchi's arm. Kai Anchi turned her head and looked at Wang Bo with her chin raised. "What's the matter?" Wang Bo clenched his fist and loosened it. His eyes were fixed on Kai Anchi. Kai Anchi was a little impatient and asked, "What's the matter?" Wang Bo's nose twitched. Then he gave Kai Anchi a slap. Kai Anchi was slapped to the ground by him. Kai Anchi covered her face and looked at Wang Bo in shock. "You hit me." Wang Bo's hand was shaking badly. "I hit you, bitch. Who do you think you are to hit me? You're not even a man. What's the point of hitting a woman?" Kai Anchi got up from the ground and rushed towards Wang Bo to scratch him. Ning Shu grabbed Kai Anchi and flung her away. Kai Anchi was thrown to the ground by Ning Shu. She groaned and couldn't get up for a while. "I want to call the police. You guys are intentionally hurting me. This is domestic violence." Kai Anchi shouted. Ning Shu nodded. "You can call the police. Hurry up." Ning Shu entered his room and threw a tattered dress at Kai Anchi's face. Kai Anchi looked at the dress and her face turned green. "Old woman, you cut my dress. I've said it before. I've remembered it all. I've only cut your dress now. Tomorrow it will be your bag." Ning Shu said indifferently. "Do." Kai Anchi's face twitched. She was holding the dress with several holes in it. The dress was full of holes and the sleeves were too short. She couldn't mend them even if she wanted to. Kai Anchi's heart was filled with hatred. She looked at Ning Shu with hatred in her eyes. Wang Bo was a little confused and asked, "What's going on?" Ning Shu smiled and said, "You still don't know that your wife has a lot of famous brands. A small accessory can easily cost thousands. Her clothes and shoes are all famous brands. Where did she get the money to buy them?" Wang Bo's face turned black. He thought of a possibility and couldn't help but rub his temple. "You have more than one man. What kind of woman are you?" Wang Bo roared at Kai Anchi. Kai Anchi threw the dress in her hand and said sarcastically, "Can you buy me these famous brands? Can you? What right do you have to question me? I bought these things myself. I didn't use a single cent from your family." Wang Bo's temples suddenly exploded. He was so angry that his chest violently heaved up and down. He was speechless for a long time. It was said that shameless people were invincible. Kai Anchi was really shameless. This was an era where people laughed at the poor but not at the prostitutes. There was no such thing as integrity. As long as you lived a good life, you would be successful. Kai Anchi never thought of paying anything for this marriage. She also never thought of sticking to this marriage. Chapter 720. Kai Anchi only saw Wang Bo as a way out. She was old and couldn't play anymore. Wang Bo would take care of her. Now that Wang Bo was going to divorce her, she had to take a piece of meat from him. It was either 200,000 yuan or a house. She really dared to say that. If he gave the house to Kai Anchi, would they sleep on the streets? Besides, a house was more than 200,000 yuan. It would be demolished in the future, and the price of the house would only be higher. Kai Anchi went back to the bedroom to pack her luggage and was ready to leave. She didn't want to live under the same roof with this mother and son. Kai Anchi said, "Divorce or not, tell me when you've thought it through. If you want a divorce, prepare 200,000 yuan. It's up to you." "Where are you going?" Wang Bo asked with a livid face. "Why do you care where I'm going?" Kai Anchi said angrily. Wang Bo was furious. Kai Anchi didn't want to divorce and play on her own. But what about him? Was this woman going to be his wife for life? His wife was in the arms of other men. She was free, but he couldn't start a new life. Ning Shu said to Kai Anchi, "If you step out of this door, I'll destroy all your things." Kai Anchi suddenly twisted her face and shouted sharply, "Don't you dare. There's nothing I don't dare to do. Didn't your skirt get cut too?" Ning Shu said indifferently, "You can't leave this house before it's confirmed whether you want a divorce or not." "Do." Kai Anchi stomped her feet in anger. "You're putting me under house arrest. I'm going to call the police. You stole my things. You're a thief." Ning Shu said very calmly, "Sure, I have photos of you in prostitution on my phone. All right, there's also a video of you chatting naked with others. I can sue you for spreading obscenity." Kai Anchi's face turned green. She looked at Ning Shu in a daze. "How can you do this? How could this old woman be so powerful? She thought she was just a yes woman. How did she get a video of her chatting naked?" She knew about it, but she didn't say anything back then. Wang Bo's face turned even uglier. Of course he knew about it. He looked at Kai Anchi in disbelief. "What kind of woman are you? How can you be so slutty?" Kai Anchi first sneered and then said, "If you men didn't want to see it, would I take it off? If a man wants to see, you can take it off." "Kai Anchi, you woman!" Wang Bo roared. Kai Anchi didn't care at all. "You men can play and be unrestrained. Why can't women?" But. Wang Bo choked on Kai Anchi's words and didn't know what to say. Ning Shu lightly said, "Do you want to leave or stay? Have you thought about it?" Kai Anchi snorted and stayed. Her branded goods could not be ruined by old women who did not know what was good for them. Now that she was sick, those men who wanted to please her would not buy her anything anymore. Kai Anchi dragged the suitcase back to the bedroom and slammed the door. Wang Bo stared blankly at the door. Ning Shu asked, "Are you hungry? Get us something to eat." Wang Bo turned to Ning Shu and said, "Mom, I want a divorce. I must get a divorce. Even if you give me money, I will divorce this woman." Wang Bo's face was resolute. Ning Shu was speechless. No wonder Kai Anchi took away the family property. It was because of Wang Bo. For her son, Yang Zi would naturally give any amount of money. Ning Shu said, "I will let you two divorce. You can't give her 200,000 yuan, and you won't give her the house." Then, Ning Shu looked at Wang Bo. "Are you willing to be called a cuckold? After you divorce Kai Anchi, you have to start a new life. You can't always be under Kai Anchi's shadow." Wang Bo tightly frowned and said somewhat dispiritedly, "What can I do? Other than giving her money, what else can I do to get rid of Kai Anchi?" "Take it slow. There will be a way." Ning Shu went into the kitchen and cooked noodles. Wang Bo said, "You don't have to cook for her. She knows how to order food." Since Wang Bo said that he wouldn't cook for Kai Anchi, Ning Shu wouldn't cook. He could only cook 2 bowls of noodles. When Kai Anchi came out and saw that there was no food for her, her face turned ugly. She directly took out her phone to order food. After the delivery man came, Kai Anchi said to the delivery man, "They will pay." Then she carried the things into the bedroom. The delivery man looked at Ning Shu and Wang Bo. Wang Bo's face was extremely ugly. Seeing the delivery man looking at him, he very unwillingly paid the money. Ning Shu was silent. Looking at Wang Bo's hateful expression, he said, "Take it slow." Wang Bo shook his head in annoyance. He looked very dispirited. Ning Shu comforted him. All the pain is the suffering before happiness. A happy life is precious. Just like her, living in the hospital and being tortured by illness. Her life was unfortunate, but these illnesses tempered her soul. After death, because her soul was qualified, it was captured by the system and started a new life. You will meet better people in the future. Who didn't meet a few scumbags when they were young? Ning Shu patted Wang Bo's shoulder and transmitted a stream of qi to Wang Bo. It was not worth torturing himself for Kai Anchi. Wang Bo tightly pursed his lips. Ning Shu said, "Don't always sleep in the living room. Go back to the bedroom. This is our home. Why can't you sleep in the bedroom?" Wang Bo shook his head. "But I don't want to see her." "Then it's up to you," Ning Shu said. The more Wang Bo thought about it, the angrier he became. In the middle of the night, he directly went into the bedroom and pressed on top of Kai Anchi. He was so worried about Kai Anchi's feelings, but Kai Anchi rolled around with other men. Wang Bo's heart was filled with anger. The more he thought about it, the more it was not worth it. Wang Bo violently went in, causing Kai Anchi to scream in pain. She beat Wang Bo to get out and tell him to get out. Wang Bo looked at Kai Anchi's twisted face and suddenly felt very bored. What did he get by doing this? He knew what kind of person Kai Anchi was. Did he think he could take revenge on her like this? Wang Bo put on his pants. He did not even look at Kai Anchi, who was lying on the bed in pain. He turned around and went out. Kai Anchi was a promiscuous woman. Who knew how many men she had? What he did was insulting himself. Kai Anchi was a woman who was worse than a prostitute. Ning Shu heard Kai Anchi's screams in the next room. He opened the door and saw Wang Bo coming out of the bedroom. Wang Bo saw Ning Shu. Ning Shu said, "Mom, I'm fine. I want to get a divorce as soon as possible." Ning Shu saw that Wang Bo was calmer than before. It was as if he was relieved. Anger and sadness were because he cared. Only a person who was as calm as a stranger truly did not care. Although Wang Bo did not completely let go of Kai Anchi, it was a good start. Chapter 721. The next day, Wang Bo had to go to work. There were dark circles under his eyes. Apparently, he hadn't slept the whole night. Ning Shu saw that he didn't look good and said, "Rest for a while. There's no rush to go to work. It's not efficient for you to go to work in this state." Kai Anchi came out of the bedroom. Wang Bo looked at Kai Anchi and nodded. "Then I'll rest for a while." Kai Anchi's face didn't look good. She asked Wang Bo, "Why did you do that to me?" Wang Bo said, "We're husband and wife. Isn't it normal for us to do that kind of thing? You can do it with other men. Why can't you do it with me?" Kai Anchi was furious. "I'm not feeling well. It hurts. You still forced me." "Then it doesn't hurt when you do it with other men. It's still up to you whether it hurts or not." Wang Bo calmed down and spoke more logically. Kai Anchi looked at Wang Bo in a daze. "How dare you talk to me like that?" Wang Bo was always careful with her. Now that he spoke to her like that, Kai Anchi was not used to it. She felt offended. Wang Bo ignored Kai Anchi and sat down to eat. Kai Anchi angrily stomped her feet and sat down to eat breakfast. Ning Shu said to Kai Anchi, "Come with me to buy groceries later." "Why buy groceries? Now you should consider whether to divorce and give money or not." Kai Anchi deliberately used the divorce to provoke Wang Bo. However, she saw that Wang Bo's face was cold and had no reaction at all. This made Kai Anchi feel frustrated and uneasy. She relied on Wang Bo's liking and concession. Moreover, there was something wrong with her body. She didn't have 2 weapons. Kai Anchi was a little flustered. Ning Shu said, As long as you're not divorced, you're the daughter-in-law of this family. After breakfast, Ning Shu took the basket and stuffed it into Kai Anchi's hands. Kai Anchi said coldly, "I'm not going." "Then you can only see the corpse of the shoes," Ning Shu said. Kai Anchi was furious. She could only carry the basket and go to buy groceries with Ning Shu. Kai Anchi was smart this time. She didn't wear high heels and followed Ning Shu out. She was sweating from the sun and her face was burning. Ning Shu wandered back and forth in the market. Kai Anchi could only follow him. She was carrying a basket of vegetables, which was extremely heavy. Kai Anchi glared at Ning Shu's back. As long as she got her hands on the item, she would definitely make this mother and son suffer. Now, Kai Anchi was afraid of breaking the vases. Previously, one of her dresses had already been cut, which made her heart bleed. These things were not cheap. Kai Anchi carried her things and followed behind Ning Shu. On the way home, they met acquaintances and chatted endlessly. "It's so hot outside. Fuck, this old woman doesn't seem to feel it." Kai Anchi saw Ning Shu saying that she was filial and came to buy groceries with her. He was really hypocritical. Now they were obviously divorcing, but he still acted like a harmonious mother-in-law and daughter-in-law. How hypocritical. When Kai Anchi saw Ning Shu's gentle and kind appearance, her heart was bleeding. This woman was so hateful. She was so good at pretending in front of others. After strolling around slowly, it was almost noon. When they got home, Kai Anchi threw the basket away and ran into the room to save her sunburned skin with her cosmetics. Kai Anchi hated her to death. Her expensive skincare products were taken away by this old woman. Kai Anchi was wiping her face. Ning Shu stood at the door of the bedroom and said, "Choose the vegetables and cook." But Kai Anchi retorted. Ning Shu said, "Then I can only use your skincare products to polish shoes." Kai Anchi glared at Ning Shu and began to choose the vegetables. Kai Anchi saw Wang Bo sitting on the sofa and said, "We are not divorced. I am your wife. Now you let me do everything. Don't you know how to help me?" Wang Bo nodded and came to help choose the vegetables. He was not angry with Kai Anchi anymore. Kai Anchi was happy to see Wang Bo so obedient. Ning Shu smiled provocatively. After choosing the vegetables, Ning Shu asked Kai Anchi to cook. Kai Anchi gritted her teeth and went to cook. Anyway, the kitchen was in a mess. The dishes on the table were all black. Anyway, looking at them made one lose their appetite. It was either salty or sweet in the mouth. It was simply poisoning. Kai Anchi couldn't eat it. Ning Shu ate without changing his expression. Wang Bo also picked up some vegetables. This made Kai Anchi feel very frustrated. Kai Anchi really couldn't eat these dishes. She took out her mobile phone to order food. After the delivery man came, Wang Bo said to the delivery man, "In the future, whoever orders the food will pay." Kai Anchi's face suddenly darkened. Under the delivery man's strange eyes, she paid the money. "I bought these. You are not allowed to eat them," Kai Anchi said bitterly. Ning Shu and Wang Bo ignored her. Kai Anchi ate the delicious food alone. She ate with all her might. If she couldn't finish it, she would throw it away. Anyway, she didn't give it to Ning Shu and Wang Bo. After lunch, Ning Shu said to Kai Anchi, "Clean the house." Kai Anchi cursed in her heart. Looking at Ning Shu's cold face, she could only take the bucket and mop. Every corner must be cleaned. Ning Shu ordered Kai Anchi. Kai Anchi cursed in her heart. She began to work and said to Wang Bo, "You come and help." "Mom, I'm going out." Wang Bo didn't even look at Kai Anchi. He turned and went out, which made Kai Anchi a little dumbfounded. Ning Shu saw that people were changeable. Things like feelings were very fragile. When you were supported, you were a princess. When you were not cared about, you were nothing. Feelings needed to be maintained and managed. Feelings could not be wantonly squandered. After Wang Bo left, Kai Anchi could only work by herself. She indignantly said, "I am not the only one living in this house. Why should I clean it alone?" "I will let you clean it alone. Do you have a problem with that?" Ning Shu casually said. Kai Anchi took a deep breath and saw Ning Shu sitting there leisurely. When she passed by Ning Shu, she deliberately poured water on Ning Shu. Ning Shu was not angry. He still sat there. Clean it up. If you don't pass, your designer bag will be gone. Ning Shu lightly said. Kai Anchi bent down to clean the house. After cleaning the house, she also had to scrub the toilet. After finishing these things, Kai Anchi felt that her waist could not straighten. Ning Shu checked and nodded, indicating that she passed. After finishing these things, Kai Anchi felt dizzy as if she was going to faint. She was too tired. Kai Anchi took a shower and went to rest. But just when she fell asleep, she was woken up by a knock on the door. Kai Anchi frantically grabbed her hair and opened the door. Ning Shu gently said, "It is time to prepare dinner." Kai Anchi, Kai Anchi really hated Ning Shu. This old woman is too hateful, hateful, hateful. Chapter 722. After a few days, Kai Anchi felt like she was going to die. When she got up in the morning, she would go grocery shopping with the old woman and then prepare lunch. After lunch, she would start to clean the house. Kai Anchi felt that her face was dark, her skin was rough, and her hands were rough. Looking in the mirror, Kai Anchi felt that she had aged many years. What Kai Anchi couldn't stand the most was that Wang Bo ignored her, as if she was a stranger, plain and indifferent. Kai Anchi would rather Wang Bo be angry with her and come up to talk to her than ignore her like now. Kai Anchi looked at herself in the mirror and felt that she had been destroyed by the old woman too miserably. It couldn't go on like this. She didn't divorce because she felt that Wang Bo liked her and couldn't bear to leave her. It would be fine after the quarrel. But now she was not so sure. Could it be that she was going to stay here and be tortured by the old woman? Kai Anchi kept thinking. In particular, the old woman destroyed another pair of shoes. Just because she resisted and refused to do anything, a pair of broken shoes was thrown in front of her. Her shoes. Kai Anchi felt that she was suffocating. Her heart ached so much that she couldn't breathe. Why didn't this old woman die? She got married for the sake of her retirement, but now it seemed that it was impossible. She was going to be tortured to death by the old woman. Kai Anchi thought about it for a whole night and decided to divorce. The next morning at the dinner table, Kai Anchi said, "I agree to the divorce." Wang Bo turned to look at Kai Anchi and asked suspiciously, "Do you really agree?" "I agree to the divorce." Kai Anchi looked at Ning Shu. "My request is for you to return my things to me and give me another $200,000 as my alimony." Ning Shu didn't speak and continued to eat the buns. Hearing Kai Anchi's words, Wang Bo didn't say anything. He drank the porridge in his bowl and was about to go to work. Kai Anchi said impatiently, "What do you mean? It was you who wanted a divorce. Now that I agree to the divorce, you don't say anything." Ning Shu said lightly, "Why should I give you alimony? Have you given birth to a child? Will the child live with you? Why do you need alimony?" Kai Anchi flew into a rage out of humiliation. "Then I'll have to live in the future too." 200,000 was not much at all. She did not know how to live with her health condition. 200,000 was not enough for her to live for the rest of her life. 200,000 was nothing. "We are not responsible for your future life." Ning Shu expressionlessly said, "Of course, you don't have to get a divorce. This way, Wang Bo will be responsible for you, and you won't have to worry about the rest of your life." Kai Anchi was speechless. Kai Anchi's face turned green. She couldn't take it anymore. Was she going to be tortured by this old woman for the rest of her life? She did not want to be a slave in this family. The old woman looked honest on the surface, but she was the best at tormenting people. In front of outsiders, she even pretended to dote on her daughter-in-law. 200,000 yuan and her name tag, not one less. Ning Shu said, "Wash the dishes and go grocery shopping with me." Kai Anchi rolled her eyes and weakly said, "I'm not feeling well. I want to rest today." Ning Shu looked at her and nodded in agreement. When Kai Anchi returned to her bedroom, she called her family and said that she was bullied and was going to be kicked out of the house. Blah blah blah. Not long after, Kai Anchi's parents, brother, and sister-in-law all came. They knocked on the door loudly, attracting the attention of the neighbors. Kai Anchi's parents and elder brother were still making a big fuss. They were very aggressive and had a lot of momentum. Ning Shu glanced at the smug Kai Anchi and called Wang Bo to ask him to come back quickly. Kai Anchi was about to open the door when Ning Shu stopped her and said, "Kai Anchi, don't think that you can take money from me just because you have more people." "Grandma, what are you talking about? My parents are just here to see me." Kai Anchi flipped her hair. "See?" She did not know what the person was holding in his hand, but he was banging on the door loudly. Kai Anchi crossed her arms and looked at Ning Shu. "Grandma, I don't have any other requests. I'm just fighting for my rights." Ning Shu ignored Kai Anchi and picked up the phone to call the police. "Hello, I want to call the police. There's a fight here and they want to break into my house. Now they're breaking into my house. There's only me and my daughter-in-law at home. Please protect me." Ning Shu pointed the phone at the door. The door was being banged on. Ning Shu said the address and hung up the phone. Kai Anchi looked at Ning Shu and stammered, "You? Why did you call the police? There's so many of you. I can't beat them." Ning Shu spread his hands and said. Kai Anchi stomped her feet and was about to open the door when Ning Shu pressed her shoulder. Kai Anchi struggled twice but could not break free. Her face turned red. "Let go of me. I'm going to open the door." Kai Anchi said anxiously. If the police came, it would be troublesome. Kai Anchi did not think that Ning Shu would call the police. Because the door was not opened for a long time, the people outside were very impatient and shouted to open the door. Ning Shu ignored them. Kai Anchi's brother actually started to kick the door. Ning Shu's face was calm. "If you want to kick, then kick. It's even better if you break it." Kai Anchi frowned and shouted at the door, "Stop kicking, stop kicking." The door was closed. The people outside could not hear what the people inside the house were saying. Moreover, the corridor was full of people. Kai Anchi's mother cried to the onlookers. Her daughter married into this family and was bullied. She was tortured and had to do everything. Now she was even kicked out of the house. When the people around heard these words, they all showed a look of suspicion. After being with Yang Zi for so long, Yang Zi was not such a person. Yang Zi was very good to his wife. He helped carry her shoes and even carried her upstairs. Torturing his wife? His wife was torturing Yang Zi. Not long after, the police in uniform came. When they saw Kai Anchi's brother kicking the door, they quickly went forward to stop him. The Kai family was stunned. What were the police doing here? Wang Bo rushed back and saw so many people gathered outside his house. There were even police. His heart skipped a beat. He was worried about his mother. Wang Bo quickly went forward and asked the police, "What happened?" Someone called the police. There was a fight here. The police held Kai Anchi's brother. Wang Bo quickly took out his keys to open the door. When he walked into the house and saw that Ning Shu was fine, he heaved a sigh of relief. "Brother." Kai Anchi quickly ran out. When she saw her brother being held, she was anxious. "What happened? Why did the police come?" Kai Anchi's mother asked anxiously. Kai Anchi turned around and looked at Ning Shu. That old woman called the police. Chapter 723. Kai Anchi usually cursed Ning Shu as an old hag in her heart, but now, she called him an old hag in a moment of desperation. Everyone in the corridor heard it clearly. Kai Anchi belatedly realized that it was inappropriate for her to say that. Facing the disdainful looks in the corridor, she still straightened her chest. Kai Anchi's mother's face darkened as she went into the house. Everyone in the corridor swarmed into the house to watch the show. Auntie Li asked Ning Shu with concern, "What's going on?" Ning Shu's face was full of bitterness. Auntie wants to divorce Wang Bo. Auntie Li had an "I knew it would be like this" expression on her face. She wants 200,000 yuan or the house, Ning Shu said. Immediately, the surrounding people turned their eyes to Kai Anchi's family. This was simply robbery. Ning Shu said to the police, "We're a widow and an orphan. They're a family. I was afraid that something might happen, so I called the police." Police. Kai Anchi saw that she had pacified the crowd with just a few words and said anxiously, "She's an evil mother-in-law. She makes me do things every day. She makes me cook and mop the floor. She's deliberately torturing me." Onlookers, cooking and mopping the floor is torturing. This is really not a big deal. They're also domestic violence. They hit me, Kai Anchi said again. Auntie Lee interrupted, I've never seen such shameless people. Domestic violence? They even hit you. Only this pair of mother and son are stupid enough to treat you like a treasure. When I asked you to pour a glass of water for your mother-in-law, you deliberately stirred the juice with your fingers. How can your mother-in-law order you around like this? Kai Anchi hated this talkative woman and said immediately, that's because she took my things. If I didn't do anything, she would destroy my things. Ning Shu said indifferently, I didn't take your things. What valuable things do you have? What did I take from you? But Kai Anchi was stunned. It was not good to say anything in front of so many people. Kai Anchi stomped her feet angrily. These people are all Yang Zi's friends. Naturally, they'll side with her. Kai Anchi saw that no matter what she said, no one believed her. Instead, they said that the old woman was a good person. She was clearly the one being tormented. Wang Bo, who had been silent all this time, said, she wanted 200,000 for a divorce. My mother and I didn't agree, so she asked her family to make a fuss. I won't give her 200,000. Wang Bo, Kai Anchi was infuriated that Wang Bo dared to undermine her in front of so many people. Kai Anchi moved closer to Wang Bo's ear and threatened, don't force me to take you down with me. Otherwise, I'll announce to the world that I cheated on you. You'll have to endure the strange gazes of others every day. The mother and son had dealt with the matter in a low-key manner. Obviously, they were afraid of making a big deal out of it and didn't want others to know. Kai Anchi felt that she had grasped the mother and son's weakness. Wang Bo turned his head and looked at Kai Anchi without saying a word. Kai Anchi's hair stood on end from Wang Bo's gaze. What do you mean? Kai Anchi asked Wang Bo, then why divorce? The policeman asked. Kai Anchi looked at Wang Bo from the corner of her eyes. Clearly, she was threatening Wang Bo. Wang Bo coughed and said, because Kai Anchi cheated on me, and it wasn't the first time. Kai Anchi was stunned. She looked as if she had been struck by lightning. She had threatened Wang Bo. Why did Wang Bo take the initiative to say it? Was he crazy? Kai Anchi looked at Wang Bo in a daze. Wang Bo's expression was extremely calm, but there was a hint of madness in it. When the people around heard Wang Bo's words, they immediately became noisy. They whispered to each other and looked at Kai Anchi without restraint. One look and you can tell she's not a good woman. She's married and still went out to seduce men. One look and you can tell she's a vixen. Ning Shu also looked at Wang Bo in a daze. Her original intention was to not let Wang Bo suffer the rumors. Wang Bo's actions were out of Ning Shu's expectations. Looking at the calm Wang Bo, she felt that Wang Bo had really walked out of this incident. Perhaps Wang Bo was too angry and wanted to go all out to make Kai Anchi suffer. Wang Bo might be able to bear the rumors, but he was a man. And Kai Anchi was a woman. She could bear more than Wang Bo. People who knew her would point fingers at her. People's gossip was a fearful thing. The public opinion could melt gold. Kai Anchi's face turned pale when she noticed the eyes of the people around her. She was just threatening Wang Bo. She never thought that Wang Bo would say it out loud. I didn't. Kai Anchi said loudly. Kai Anchi's mother immediately explained, my daughter wouldn't do that. My daughter married into your family with a clean record. In order to get a divorce, you slandered my daughter. Ning Shu sat on the sofa and didn't say anything. She wanted to see how Wang Bo would deal with this matter. When Wang Bo heard his mother-in-law say that it was clean, he sneered and said, when Kai Anchi married me, she had already had several miscarriages. The doctor said that she might not be able to get pregnant in this lifetime. Even if she was pregnant, she might not be able to give birth. The onlookers looked at Kai Anchi. Kai Anchi couldn't help but take 2 steps back. She looked at Wang Bo with watery eyes. She looked so pitiful that it made people's hearts ache. Wang Bo lowered his eyes and didn't look at her. Wang Bo, what nonsense are you talking about? My daughter is married to you. You can do whatever you want. Kai Anchi's father said with a pale face. Wang Bo looked at his father-in-law and said, there are photos. Do you want to see them? I wouldn't send my wife to someone else's bed. Kai Anshi's father was so angry that he couldn't say anything. There were so many people looking at him. It made his old face panic. He turned around and left. Kai Anshi's mother saw him leave. She looked at Kai Anshi and could only follow him. Kai Anshi's brother was still detained. Kai Anshi's mother said to the police, "Officer, this is all a misunderstanding. It's really a misunderstanding." Ning Shu said, "This kind of irreconcilable thing happened. The Kai family is likely to take revenge on my family. When that time comes, I'll have to trouble you." The police said, "We'll educate her." "Thank you, officer." Ning Shu let out a long breath. Kai Anshi looked at Ning Shu with hatred. What did he mean by old woman? Tears welled up in Kai Anshi's eyes. The surrounding people looked at her as if they were pricking her with needles. How clean did these people think they were? What right did they have to look down on her? She, Kai Anshi, didn't care about other people's gazes. Kai Anshi's brother was taken to the police station and walked around. He was released after a day. After all, he didn't do anything wrong. After the police left, the neighbors still surrounded Ning Shu's house. It seemed that the living room was very crowded. Obviously, they wanted to get more gossip. After the Kai family left, Kai Anshi turned around and went back to her bedroom with a cold face. She slammed the door shut. Chapter 724. Ning Shu had a worried look on his face as he dealt with this group of gossipers. The topic of conversation was all about Kai Anshi. Ning Shu sighed and said, "When I married Wang Bo, I didn't know that she was such a person. After I found out, I felt that it was all in the past and didn't pursue it. But she was still like this and didn't know how to repent. Wang Bo couldn't take it anymore and had to divorce her." Auntie Li comforted Ning Shu, "This daughter-in-law isn't good. The next daughter-in-law will definitely be good." Ning Shu just forced a smile. Ning Shu dealt with this group of people and asked Wang Bo, "Why did you say it in front of so many people?" Wang Bo rubbed his forehead and said, "There's no point in dragging it out like this. She even threatened to tell the world that she cheated on me, so I gave her what she wanted." Ning Shu was speechless. So where did Kai Anshi's confidence come from? She was confident that this person would always be there waiting for her. No matter what she did wrong, this person would forgive her. Ning Shu let out a long sigh. "Then things are simple. I was worried about you before, so I'll just go to court for a divorce." Wang Bo and Ning Shu forced a smile. "Got it." Ning Shu comforted Wang Bo, "It's over. Live well. Don't be sad because of someone who doesn't deserve it." Wang Bo pursed his lips and nodded. "Then I'll go find a lawyer and prepare for the divorce?" Ning Shu asked Wang Bo. Wang Bo nodded. "Thank you, Ma. I'll go by myself. You rest at home. You must be tired these days." Ning Shu couldn't help but smile. "That's true. This is your problem. You can deal with it yourself." Wang Bo was busy every day and didn't go home much. He was always dealing with the divorce. Ning Shu also stopped urging Kai Anshi to get up and work every day. She could sleep whenever she wanted. Did she really think that torturing people was easy work? Was she not tired when Kai Anshi was tired? Kai Anshi was going to be free. She was going to be free too. Kai Anshi was well aware of her current situation. Ever since Wang Bo had exposed her affair, she had lost her advantage in front of Wang Bo. At that time, Kai Anshi was just testing Wang Bo. If the other party's attitude was slightly softer, Kai Anshi felt that she would have gotten the 200,000 yuan. In the end, the probing failed, and now the chicken had flown away and the eggs had been smashed. Kai Anshi came out of the bedroom and said to Ning Shu, who was picking vegetables, "Give me 200,000 yuan, and I will divorce Wang Bo immediately." Ning Shu slowly picked the vegetables and faintly said, "Wang Bo is already preparing for a divorce. Let's talk about it in court." When Kai Anshi heard that she had to go to court, her face turned ugly. She took a step back and said, "Then give me 150,000. 150,000. Ning Shu's expression did not change. "You have to ask Wang Bo about this. You and Wang Bo are husband and wife. I can't say much about this kind of thing." Kai Anshi rolled her eyes. Ning Shu threatened, "If you don't agree, I'll die in your house. You're the ones who forced me to die." Ning Shu was speechless. Ning Shu dared to guarantee that Kai Anchi would not bear to die. Kai Anchi only loved him. How could she bear to die? Seeing that Ning Shu was unmoved, Kai Anchi rushed into the kitchen and picked up a fruit knife. She pointed it at her wrist. If you don't agree, I'll slit my wrists and commit suicide. Ning Shu was speechless. Ning Shu faintly said, "Are you sure you want to slit your wrists? There are no major arteries on your wrists and the bleeding is very slow. Also, can you find the location of the blood vessels? You might cut your tendons and your hands will be crippled. Also, if you bleed too much, your brain will be ischemic and you'll be in a vegetative state after rescue." Kai Anchi's hand that was holding the fruit knife trembled. She looked at Ning Shu in horror. Why are you doing this?" He did not follow the script at all. Ning Shu added, "I'll call the ambulance in time." Kai Anchi really wanted to take the knife and stab this old woman. Hating Ning Shu, Kai Anchi threatened, "Don't regret it." Ning Shu faintly said, "Kai Anchi, I treat you as my daughter-in-law. But you treat this place as a nursing home. Wang Bo and I are people who serve you." Kai Anchi rolled her eyes. "Look at Wang Bo. If I didn't marry him, he wouldn't be able to find a wife. Look at that smug look on her face. It's as if no one can live without you. She's so self-confident." When Kai Anchi said this, Wang Bo opened the door and came back. Hearing Kai Anchi's words, he said resolutely, "I'll find a good wife and lead a good life. Just you wait and see." Kai Anchi crossed her arms and rolled her eyes in disdain. Seeing Kai Anchi like this, Wang Bo was not angry. If he would have died long ago. He faintly said to Kai Anchi, "The day after tomorrow is the day of the court hearing. I hope you'll be there on time." Kai Anchi was so angry that her face turned green. "Are you really going to divorce me?" "Of course. Now everyone knows that you cheated on a woman who had many miscarriages. Compared to being cheated on, I'm more afraid of being laughed at." Kai Anchi took a deep breath. "Don't regret it." Kai Anchi went into the bedroom to pack her things and came out with a suitcase. Kai Anchi looked at Wang Bo as if she was waiting for him to ask her to stay. Wang Bo said, "Remember to be there on time." Kai Anchi stomped her feet and dragged the suitcase away. On the day of the court hearing, Wang Bo and Ning Shu waited for Kai Anchi at the entrance of the court. After waiting for a long time, Kai Anchi finally arrived. The whole Kai family was there. Ning Shu and his mother seemed weak. Their momentum was suppressed by the Kai family. Ning Shu's lips curled up. This kind of thing was not something that could be won with more people. Kai Anchi looked at Wang Bo and said, "It's not too late." Kai Anchi's father, Ning Shu, said, "In law, there's no need to bring the matter of the two children to court. Live a good life." Damn, both of them were treating Wang Bo as a hero. They knew what their daughter was like, but they still wanted the two children to live a good life. If Kai Anchi was their daughter-in-law, they would probably want to kill her. The double standard was too serious. Ning Shu did not say anything. He turned and entered the court. Wang Bo did not say anything either. He followed Ning Shu into the court. Kai Anchi snorted. Seeing her parents staring at her, she said, "I won't let him off so easily." When the court started, Kai Anchi said her request. 200,000 yuan. Wang Bo just looked at Kai Anchi silently and rolled his eyes speechlessly. Kai Anchi's request was rejected by the judge. "Your husband did not do anything wrong in the legal sense. You are the party at fault in the marriage. You can't ask for alimony. He has no obligation to support you." Kai Anchi's face suddenly turned ugly. "I'm his wife. He should support me." "Husband and wife do not have joint assets. The house is your husband's," the judge said. Kai Anchi's face darkened. She wanted to get a lot of money from Wang Bo, but now she might not get a single cent. If she lost the case, she would have to pay the court fees and the other party's lawyer fees. Chapter 725. Kai Anchi felt that she had suffered a great loss. She didn't get anything after getting married, and she even got herself remarried. "Wang Bo, are you a man?" Kai Anchi could only fire at Wang Bo, "I'm your wife. You should be responsible for me." Wang Bo said faintly, "Responsibility? You've never fulfilled your responsibility as a wife. There was no suspense in this divorce case at all. Wang Bo married Kai Anqi under the circumstances of being deceived. After marriage, Kai Anqi committed adultery with another man. Now, Kai Anqi couldn't live as a couple because of her health. Their relationship had been broken, and it was difficult for them to live together. Even if Kai Anqi didn't want to divorce and wanted to use responsibility to threaten Wang Bo, the court still approved the divorce. The court's decision was that Wang Bo and Kai Anqi were no longer husband and wife. Their relationship was dissolved. Wang Bo let out a long breath. Ning Shu felt as if a huge rock had been removed from Wang Bo's body. Although he looked a little sad, he was more relaxed. The two families left the court. Kai Anqi's face was gloomy and she looked anxious. She was at a loss about her future life. Kai Anqi looked at Wang Bo. Although she was high and mighty in front of Wang Bo, she still relied on Wang Bo in her heart. Now that they were divorced, Kai Anqi felt unprecedented loss and fear. She actually felt that her life with Wang Bo was quite good. But Kai Anqi wouldn't turn back. This man treated her like this. Kai Anqi walked over and said to Ning Shu, "You took my things. Give them back to me." Ning Shu nodded. "Come to my house tomorrow to get them." After Ning Shu finished speaking, she turned around and left. Wang Bo left without even looking at Kai Anqi. The next morning, Kai Anqi came to get her things. Wang Bo had just finished his breakfast and was about to go to work. Kai Anqi looked at Wang Bo, who was in a suit and leather shoes. For the first time, she felt that Wang Bo was somewhat charming. Wang Bo walked past Kai Anqi expressionlessly, which made Kai Anqi feel a little disappointed. Ning Shu gave Kai Anqi a box of things. "These are your things. Take them and leave." Kai Anqi opened the box and carefully examined its contents. She observed Ning Shu from the corner of her eye. Ning Shu asked, "It's all here. Check it carefully. Don't ask me for anything in the future." Kai Anqi took a deep breath and said, "You ruined one of my dresses and a pair of shoes. You have to compensate me." Ning Shu leisurely said, "Look carefully, everything is in your box, I cut it." Kai Anqi was speechless. Kai Anqi was so angry that her face turned green. She closed the box, picked up the things, and turned to leave. Ning Shu smiled as he looked at Kai Anqi's back. Kai Anqi's body was no longer a weapon, so it was impossible for her to continue living such a life. The 200,000 yuan was saved. Feeding 200,000 yuan to someone like Kai Anqi would really anger her to death. After Kai Anqi and Wang Bo divorced, Auntie Li often visited Ning Shu and asked him what kind of wife he wanted to find for Ning Shu. A wife needs to be chosen by an old man. As long as her personality is suitable, it's fine. Don't think about love and other useless things. Look at your previous wife. Your son liked her, but she turned out to be such a person. Auntie Li told Ning Shu. Ning Shu gently said, "They just got divorced. There's always a transition period. It's impossible to get married immediately." Auntie Li Ning Shu said, "If there's a suitable girl, I'll introduce her to you. She's a good wife and 3 generations of good children. A vicious wife will harm 3 generations of children. Men want to find a beautiful woman with a beautiful face, big breasts, and a slim figure. You have to be careful." Ning Shu nodded. "Thank you. If Wang Bo wants to get married again, you have to help me." Auntie Li smiled. "That's for sure." Wang Bo came back from work in the evening. During dinner, Ning Shu asked, "Kai Anqi already took the things away?" Wang Bo nodded and continued eating. When he saw Ning Shu hesitating to speak, he said, "Mom, just say what you want to say." "Ahem." Ning Shu coughed. "You and Kai Anqi have divorced and are about to start a new life. Well, I just want to ask, how's work recently?" Wang Bo said, "It's pretty good. Recently, there's a promotion. I can fight for it." Ning Shu smiled and said, "It's pretty good." A down-to-earth and hard-working child like Wang Bo would one day stand out. Ning Shu wanted to ask if Wang Bo had a girlfriend, but he thought it was better to forget it. They had just gotten divorced. If he rushed it, it would be easy for problems to arise. Not long after, Wang Bo was indeed promoted. Although it was only a small step, Wang Bo was very happy. However, Ning Shu was very sad. Her daughter-in-law was still nowhere to be seen. She suddenly understood how parents felt when urging marriage. How could she leave without seeing Wang Bo find a girlfriend? Auntie Li's group of old friends were addicted to matchmaking. Every day, they would introduce young girls to Ning Shu. They even dragged Ning Shu to peek at the girls. Ning Shu, she was busy as a dog. She just didn't know what Wang Bo was thinking. Every time she wanted to ask if Wang Bo was in a relationship. Was it a boyfriend or a girlfriend? But it was like constipation. She couldn't hold it in for a long time. She was afraid that it would make Wang Bo feel pressured. It made Ning Shu unable to eat well and sleep well. One afternoon, when Wang Bo came back for lunch, he brought a girl back. Ning Shu was so excited that her heart was about to jump out. She looked at the girl like a wolf. Well, she looked average. She was pleasing to the eye. She was a pretty girl from a humble family. "Hello, Auntie," the girl called Ning Shu. Ning Shu smiled kindly and gently. Good, good. A soft and cute girl was good. Bringing her home would definitely be a good idea. But it was so sudden. Ning Shu felt that it was inappropriate. Conflicted, Ning Shu asked the girl to sit down and eat. The girl was a little reserved. She glanced at Wang Bo from time to time. Wang Bo comforted her. "It's okay. My mother is a very kind person." Wang Bo said to Ning Shu, "This is Xiaoyu from our company, Jiang Xiaoyu." Ning Shu nodded and smiled warmly at Jiang Xiaoyu. "Since you're here, just treat this as your own home." "You're welcome." "Thank you, Auntie," Jiang Xiaoyu thanked her. At the dining table, Ning Shu kept observing Jiang Xiaoyu. He didn't know if it was because she couldn't let go, but Jiang Xiaoyu didn't take much food. When Wang Bo picked up food for her, she smiled at Wang Bo with curved eyes. She was very cute and even thanked Wang Bo. What a quiet and cute girl. Ning Shu was very satisfied. She was much better than Kai Anchi, who didn't know how to be grateful and had a serious princess syndrome. He just didn't know how Wang Bo felt about this girl. When he brought Kai Anchi home, she had a silly smile on her face. She looked like an idiot who had fallen in love. Now, Wang Bo was very calm. Chapter 726. After lunch, Ning Shu pulled Wang Bo aside and asked, "Is this girl your girlfriend?" Wang Bo said, "Yes. She chased me." Wang Bo couldn't help but scratch his head. "Ning Shu, Wang Bo was the one who was flirted with. Does she know that you're divorced?" Ning Shu asked again. Wang Bo said, "She chased me because she knew that I was divorced." Ning Shu, why did it feel like this girl had been coveting her son for a long time? "Then do you like her?" Ning Shu continued asking. "She's very cute," Wang Bo said. Ning Shu, liking and being cute are two different answers. Ning Shu said, "From your tone, it seems like you don't like her." "I don't like her a lot, but I do. If I want to get married, I'll marry her," Wang Bo said. "I think we're suitable for each other." Wang Bo was thinking about marriage for a longer time. Ning Shu nodded and said, "Don't be in a hurry to get married. You guys should get to know each other better. Don't bully other girls. Don't bully other girls if you're not married." "Mom, I'm not that kind of person," Wang Bo couldn't help but say. Ning Shu, that's right. Wang Bo was the kind of man who would stop halfway if his wife said no. As soon as Wang Bo and the girl left, Ning Shu called her girlfriends over and told them that her son had a girlfriend. The girlfriends all said that they wanted to see what the girl was like and help choose her. During the weekend, Jiang Xiaoyu came to visit Ning Shu. Ning Shu asked Jiang Xiaoyu to go shopping with her. They met a group of girlfriends in the corridor and then went shopping together. Ning Shu asked Jiang Xiaoyu, "What do you like about my son?" Jiang Xiaoyu said straightforwardly, "He's very kind. When I first came to the company, I didn't know anyone. My boss asked me to move things. When he passed by and saw that I couldn't move, he helped me." "That's it?" Ning Shu looked at Jiang Xiaoyu. Jiang Xiaoyu looked at Ning Shu in astonishment. "That's enough. A kind man will definitely treat his wife well." "But he had a failed marriage," Ning Shu said. Jiang Xiaoyu sighed. "When I first found out that he was married, I was disappointed for a long time, but I didn't think too much about it." Now that he's divorced, I have a chance. Ning Shu looked at Jiang Xiaoyu and felt that she was very smart. When she found out that Wang Bo was married, she didn't think of interfering in other people's marriages. However, as soon as Wang Bo got divorced, he fell into her clutches. She was scheming, but not evil. She was indeed more suitable for Wang Bo than Kai Anchi. Ning Shu looked at Jiang Xiaoyu. Although she looked soft and cute on the outside, she was someone with a mind of her own. He felt that Jiang Xiaoyu should be able to get along well with Yang Zi. Yang Zi was the kind of person with a generous personality. She could even accept a daughter-in-law like Kai Anchi, let alone Jiang Xiaoyu. Ning Shu then asked the group of girlfriends, and they all said that it was okay. Auntie Li said that this girl obviously had a mind of her own. Everyone had their own ideas. It was fine as long as they could get along well. Jiang Xiaoyu often came to visit Ning Shu. When Wang Bo looked at Jiang Xiaoyu, there was a smile on his face and a gentle look in his eyes. The relationship between the two was getting better and better. Jiang Xiaoyu often chatted with Ning Shu. During the weekends, they went shopping and played everywhere. They had a good relationship. Jiang Xiaoyu wanted to please her future mother-in-law, and Ning Shu wanted to make her his daughter-in-law. The two hit it off. Ning Shu took Jiang Xiaoyu to buy groceries. Ning Shu found that Jiang Xiaoyu's cooking skills were very good. Jiang Xiaoyu especially liked to cook all kinds of delicacies. Ning Shu didn't refuse. He ate as much as he could. She really didn't want to eat noodles. As soon as the two went downstairs, they saw Kai Anchi wandering around downstairs. When Ning Shu saw Kai Anchi, he couldn't help but raise his eyebrows. Kai Anchi was now thinner than before. Although she was wearing branded clothes, she didn't look as bright as before. It was already autumn, but Kai Anchi was still wearing a branded dress and carrying a branded bag. But she gave off a decadent feeling. Even branded clothes couldn't save Kai Anchi's decadent temperament. When Kai Anchi saw Ning Shu, her expression was a little strange. When she saw Jiang Xiaoyu, she thought of a possibility and frowned. Ning Shu acted as if he didn't see her and walked away calmly. Kai Anchi pursed her lips tightly and caught up with Ning Shu. Ning Shu looked at Kai Anchi, who was blocking in front of him, and asked indifferently, "Miss, what's the matter?" Kai Anchi glanced at Jiang Xiaoyu. Ning Shu shouted, "Mother-in-law! Don't call me mother-in-law. You and Wang Bo are divorced. We are no longer mother-in-law and daughter-in-law," Ning Shu said. Jiang Xiaoyu said to Ning Shu, "Auntie Yang, I'll wait for you over there." Ning Shu nodded. Jiang Xiaoyu carried the basket and stood far away, leaving Ning Shu and Kai Anchi alone to talk. Ning Shu looked at Kai Anchi and said, "Why are you looking for me? I've returned your things to you." "Mother-in-law, let me be with Wang Bo again," Kai Anchi begged Ning Shu. Ning Shu looked indifferent. Not even a crack in the door. Kai Anchi's face was decadent. She didn't look good. After divorcing Wang Bo, Kai Anchi's life was in an abyss of suffering. Kai Anchi's parents felt that this daughter of theirs was too embarrassing and wanted to marry her off far away. The most important thing was that they couldn't afford to raise their daughter, who was a spendthrift. The house was only so big. When their daughter came back, they had to make a room for her. It was very crowded. Kai Anchi was used to being arrogant. She didn't get along well with her sister-in-law. Kai Anchi complained that her sister-in-law's cooking was not good and tasteless. Then, she asked her sister-in-law to wash her clothes. She completely treated her sister-in-law as a servant. There was always some discord between her sister-in-law and her sister-in-law. And when they quarreled, it made the whole family uneasy. Her sister-in-law despised and hated Kai Anchi. She urged the family to quickly marry Kai Anchi off. Kai Anchi's parents were now looking for a husband for Kai Anchi. The person they were looking for was a foreigner. The foreigner didn't know what Kai Anchi had done. Kai Anchi's parents were in the mood to shift the blame. As long as they could shift the blame, everything would be fine. In the past, Kai Anchi could still rely on herself. Relying on her charm, she could enjoy the pursuit of men and let her live a carefree life. But now, there was a problem with her body. Whenever she was with a man, she would feel unbearable pain. It was as if she had walked one round in hell. That kind of pain caused Kai Anchi to be traumatized. The man wanted something from her. If she couldn't satisfy the man naturally wouldn't give her a lot of material things. Now that her family wanted her to marry, Kai Anchi immediately thought of her body. If she married a hateful man who didn't care about her body and forced her, what would she do? At this time, Kai Anchi thought of Wang Bo. Wang Bo never forced her. He was obedient to her. Even if it was to help with the housework, Kai Anchi could accept it. Chapter 727. Ningshu didn't know how thick Kai Anchi's skin was. She actually had the nerve to come back. It wasn't easy to get a divorce. What was the difference between asking her to come back and committing suicide? Kai Anchi looked at Ningshu's cold and disdainful face and decided to show weakness. She just wanted to marry Wang Bo again. I'll do the housework well in the future, Kai Anchi said to Ningshu. I won't interact with those men anymore. I swear. She really didn't want to marry into some unknown corner. What would she do if she met a bad man? In comparison, Wang Bo was much better. Her parents' attitude was very firm. They wanted her to get married, and Wang Bo was the best candidate. Grandma, believe me. I've really changed. I won't do it again. Kai Anchi said as she knelt down in front of Ningshu. Ningshu couldn't help but roll his eyes. They had already fallen out. How could Kai Anchi have the nerve to come back? Why did she think that she still had a chance when others were still waiting for her? In the plot, she took the money and left, living a carefree life. Now that she wasn't living a good life, she wanted to come back. How could there be such a good thing? Ningshu pointed at Jiang Xiaoyu, who was standing not far away, and said, "This person will be Wang Bo's wife. As for you, go back to where you came from. It's impossible for you and Wang Bo to be together even if the sky falls down," Ningshu said as he walked towards Jiang Xiaoyu. Jiang Xiaoyu looked at Ningshu from time to time. Ningshu smiled and said, "Don't look at me. It's impossible for her and Wang Bo to be together. I only recognize you." Jiang Xiaoyu held Ningshu's arm generously and said with a smile, "Thank you, auntie." When Ningshu and Jiang Xiaoyu came back from grocery shopping, Kai Anchi was still waiting downstairs. Kai Anchi looked at Jiang Xiaoyu with piercing eyes. She wanted to walk towards Jiang Xiaoyu, but after 2 steps, she stopped when she saw Ningshu staring at her coldly. Kai Anchi stuck to Ningshu's cold face. She didn't give up and waited downstairs for Wang Bo to come back. She wanted to talk to him. Jiang Xiaoyu leaned on the balcony and looked at Wang Bo and Kai Anchi downstairs. Ningshu walked over and looked down. As soon as Kai Anchi approached Wang Bo immediately retreated to avoid Kai Anchi. Seeing Wang Bo's attitude, Ningshu felt a lot more at ease. He was afraid that Wang Bo's brain would be flooded with boiling water and he would act stupid again. Kai Anchi said something and excitedly tugged at Wang Bo's sleeve. Wang Bo shook off Kai Anchi's hand and turned to enter the building. Letting out a long sigh, Jiang Xiaoyu looked at Ningshu and awkwardly said, "Wang Bo's ex-wife is beautiful, and I was afraid that Wang Bo would be soft-hearted." "I won't." Ningshu said, "Let's not talk about how Kai Anchi hurt Wang Bo. Wang Bo already has you now." Jiang Xiaoyu nodded. Hearing the sound of the door opening, Jiang Xiaoyu's eyes were filled with tears. As soon as Wang Bo opened the door, he saw Jiang Xiaoyu's sad expression. Wang Bo felt a little guilty. He went over and took Jiang Xiaoyu's hand and pulled her to the balcony to talk. He explained to Jiang Xiaoyu and promised her that he would never see Kai Anchi again. Ningshu smacked his lips. Small quarrels were fun. Jiang Xiaoyu's means were good. She didn't quarrel and expressed her grievances. Forcing a man to make a promise was different from a man taking the initiative to make a promise. Jiang Xiaoyu knew how to manage relationships. She was a girl with a high EQ. No wonder Wang Bo fell for her so easily. Unfortunately, in the plot, Wang Bo resigned from the company after the divorce. He was dispirited for a long time and found a new job. He missed Jiang Xiaoyu. However, with Wang Bo's dispirited appearance in the plot, Jiang Xiaoyu probably wouldn't like him. Who would like a soulless man? Kai Anchi came to find Wang Bo several times, but Wang Bo avoided her. Kai Anchi couldn't wait for Wang Bo and was very unhappy. Kai Anchi's parents had already found a husband for Kai Anchi. The man gave Kai Anchi 10 to 20,000 yuan as a gift, and Kai Anchi was stuffed into the car by her parents. Kai Anchi was taken out of the city and married a man in his 30s. Kai Anchi knew that her parents had sold her to this ugly man. He had dark skin and she couldn't understand a word he said. As soon as they reached home, he forced her into a small house. Kai Anchi was tortured by the man. She tried to escape, but the man caught her. She said that she was in pain, but the man ignored her. He thought that she was unwilling to come with him and insisted on forcing Kai Anchi to come with him. And he came very frequently, at least once a day. Kai Anchi's face turned green. Seeing that Kai Anchi always wanted to escape, the man locked Kai Anchi's feet with a metal chain so that she couldn't run. Kai Anchi cried. Her mind was full of Wang Bo. At this time, she wasn't thinking about the romantic man with whom she used to be. The faces of those men were very blurry, but only Wang Bo's face was clear. The man she used to hate was the only person she could think of when she was in trouble. The man who took over the woman didn't explain. Ning Shu met with Jiang Xiaoyu's parents. Jiang Xiaoyu's parents were indifferent to Wang Bo. After all, their daughter liked him. Seeing that Wang Bo was honest, they agreed. Of course, Jiang Xiaoyu had done a lot of work. Wang Bo proposed to Jiang Xiaoyu, and Jiang Xiaoyu agreed very straightforwardly. Ning Shu began to discuss the wedding date with his future in-laws. He had to fulfill all aspects of etiquette. Ning Shu gave Jiang Xiaoyu a pair of heavy dragon and phoenix bracelets. Wang Bo and Jiang Xiaoyu were very busy. They were busy with the wedding, taking wedding photos, sending invitations, and rehearsing. Even Ning Shu was busy with the wedding. On the day of Wang Bo and Jiang Xiaoyu's wedding, Jiang Xiaoyu was wearing a wedding dress. The corners of her eyes were curved as she held Wang Bo's hand. Wang Bo lowered his head slightly and looked at Jiang Xiaoyu with a smile on his face. At this moment, Wang Bo was really handsome. Ning Shu swallowed a mouthful of dog food. The corners of his eyes were a little sore. In fact, life didn't need to be so thrilling, so magnificent, and so sentimental. It just needed to be simple and peaceful. There was no such thing as a half-dead, 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 half-alive, twisted and intense true love. In the end, only ashes were left of the burning love. Ding, quest completed. Do you want to leave the quest world? 2333's voice sounded in Ning Shu's mind. Ning Shu nodded. Yes. After a moment of dizziness, Ning Shu opened his eyes. He was already in the system space. Ning Shu lay on the sofa dispiritedly. Damn, it was so tiring. It was tiring to play mind games. It was better to just fight. If she was Wang Bo, she wouldn't care about this and that. She would just kick Kai Anchi. 2333 said, Yang Zi asked me to thank you. She said thank you for what you did for her and her son. Ning Shu said, oh, where is she? She went back. She went back to her body. 2333 said. Hearing this, Ning Shu was relieved. He lay on the bed and slept. Chapter 728. Ning Shu slept comfortably. When she woke up, she sat cross-legged on the bed and began to cultivate her peerless martial arts. After he finished cultivating, Ning Shu opened his status panel and looked at the points and attribute points he received from this mission. Number, 2333. Name, Ning Shu, Intermediate Mission Taker. Age, 27 points, 5. 15 million/1. 5 million soul, 300 health, 71 wisdom, 224 charm, 10 luck, 54 spirit, 130 faith, 106450 martial strength, 142 aptitude, 59 merit, 1003010 skills. 5th ring shooting technique, trash fighting technique, beginner level ultimate martial arts, beginner poison technique, beginner business management knowledge, beginner code programming, beginner lawyer skills honorary title, goddess of war, selfless ancestor items, calm aura, faith aura, talisman 5 aura, mother of the world, queen's blessing, model worker, Chin. She's blessing, leader aura, grass blessing, best friend, Meow Meow Meow's blessing, life-saving hand, Zhu Sunyang's blessing, completed Yang Zi's wish. Mission completion, 100. Received 1. 5 million points, 40 attribute points, 50 faith, 10 merit points. This mission was not bad. Looking at the points now, he had more than 6 million, not far from 20 million. Ning Shu distributed the 40 attribute points to wisdom, luck, martial strength, and spirit. Number, 2333. Name, Ning Shu, intermediate mission taker. Age, 27 points, 5. 15 million/1. 5 million soul, 300 health, 71 wisdom, 22410 charm, 10 luck, 5410 spirit, 13010 faith, 1114 martial strength, 14210 aptitude, 59 merit, 10040. After distributing the attribute points, Ning Shu said, "I want to see Yang Zi's life back home." 2333 said okay, and the screen showed the life of Yang Zi's family. Yang Zi and Jiang Xiaoyu got along well. There was no tension between them. Everyone said that Jiang Xiaoyu met a good mother-in-law. Jiang Xiaoyu straightened her back and said that her mother-in-law was the best. This made Yang Zi a little embarrassed. She told everyone that her daughter-in-law was a good daughter-in-law. Others mocked Yang Zi, saying that as long as Yang Zi was a daughter-in-law, she would be a good daughter-in-law. Not long after Wang Bo and Jiang Xiaoyu got married, Jiang Xiaoyu got pregnant. Yang Zi took good care of Jiang Xiaoyu and made soup for her every few days. Yang Zi took Jiang Xiaoyu for a prenatal checkup. 9 months later, Jiang Xiaoyu gave birth to a girl. Yang Zi was not angry. At least, she did not have a granddaughter before. Yang Zi helped to take care of the child, and the mother-in-law and daughter-in-law took care of the child. Their views on educating the child were different, and there would be a little conflict. Wang Bo said that he would take care of the child. The mother-in-law and daughter-in-law immediately rolled their eyes. He couldn't even carry the child properly. How could he take care of the child? He could help, but if it was about taking care of the child, forget about it. Wang Bo learned how to change diapers for the child. When he made the milk powder, he let it warm. He took 2 sips and dripped it on the back of his hand to see if it was hot before feeding it to the child. Although there were some bumps and bruises in life, the days were still peaceful and warm. Ning Shu was completely relieved when he saw this. Without Kai Anchi interfering in their lives were stable and peaceful. Yang Zi and Wang Bo, who were honest people, could not get along with an arrogant woman like Kai Anchi. The auras of the two sides were incompatible. Yang Zi and Wang Bo were suppressed. After reading the rest of this world, Ning Shu took out the secret book of his peerless martial arts. He opened the secret book and added some chi force patterns to it. The patterns became more and more complicated. Previously, they were animals. Now they developed into flowers, plants, and trees. There were even people who formed stars. The peerless martial arts were in full bloom in that world. It was probably something that could be found everywhere. The main thing was that there were no requirements for the peerless martial arts. As long as one could draw spiritual energy into the body and cultivate chi force, it would be fine. Ning Shu closed the secret book and lay on the sofa with his limbs spread out. Ning Shu asked, "How do you feel about this counterattack?" Ning Shu rolled his eyes. "It's quite tiring." 2333 said, "Counterattack is to counterattack the sad fate of the client. You can't destroy the client's advantage. If the client has a good reputation, you can't ruin the client's reputation. Do you understand?" Ning Shu said, "Oh, fortunately, this mission did not ruin Yang Zi's reputation. Otherwise, the mission would have failed again." 2333 said, "Mission givers could not take revenge on others. The client gave their soul and wanted a good life. They could not leave a mess for the client." Ning Shu let out a long breath. Yang Zi was an honest person. She could not suddenly become vicious and torture her daughter-in-law. If she left behind a bad reputation, who would dare to marry Wang Bo, even if Wang Bo was a good person? However, marriage was a matter between two families. If the future mother-in-law was a bad mother-in-law, no matter how good the man was, she would not marry. Ning Shu planned to go to the virtual space to see if there were any items, flower shop points, or faith power to exchange for some. It would be better for the mission. Ning Shu first opened the exchange store and browsed for a suitable item. Then, he went to the virtual space to look for the same item. Maybe it would be cheaper. Ning Shu's fingers swiped across the screen, browsing a variety of goods. Ning Shu's eyes were fixed on an item. This item was an upgraded version of the amulet. Not only could it resist the fate of being erased if the mission failed, but it could also prevent one from leaving the mission world. In other words, if one encountered an irresistible danger, one could still stay in the mission world and continue the mission. However, the price made Ning Shu's heart beat faster. It was too expensive. It actually cost 100 merit points. A normal amulet only cost 30 merit points. Ning Shu decisively closed the exchange store and went to the virtual space to see if it could be cheaper. After a moment of weightlessness, Ning Shu stood on the street in the virtual space. Ning Shu went to the item store to browse. He saw that the upgraded amulet in the store also cost 100 merit points. 100 merit points. Ning Shu asked the shop owner, "Can the upgraded version of the amulet be cheaper?" The shop owner sized up Ning Shu and asked tentatively, "You have so many merit points." Ning Shu said, "Actually, it's still a little short of 100 merit points, so I'm asking if you can make it cheaper." "How many merit points do you have?" Ning Shu asked. Ning Shu thought for a moment. 80 merit points. "No, the price difference with the exchange store is too big. It's impossible to exchange it for you." The shop owner refused directly. Ning Shu saw her firm attitude and knew that it was impossible to get this item for 80 merit points. He asked, "How much do you want?" "At least 95 merit points," the shop owner said. Chapter 729. In the end, Ning Shu bought this item with 95 merit points. After exchanging for this item, Ning Shu planned to go to the restaurant to eat. The food in the restaurant was really good. In the previous world, he ate noodles all the time. Ning Shu felt that he didn't want to see noodles for a long time. Walking into the restaurant, Ning Shu picked an empty table and ordered a lot of dishes. As he was chewing on a drumstick, he felt some tremors under his feet. Ning Shu didn't pay much attention to it. However, the tremors were getting stronger. The plates on the table were shaking and the table kept shaking. Ning Shu couldn't help but press on the table. It felt like the earth was shaking. Earthquake. Run quickly. Ning Shu quickly rushed out of the restaurant and stood on the street. The bluestone slabs under his feet kept shaking and the cracks in the bricks opened. "Oh my God, what's going on?" Ning Shu couldn't help but look up at the sky. Then he saw a man in a black windbreaker flying across the sky. Ning Shu narrowed his eyes. He looked a little familiar. This was the uncle. Perhaps he noticed Ning Shu's gaze. The uncle glanced at Ning Shu and flew away with the man beside him. Ning Shu, it was the same look of disdain again. Sir. The waiter ran out of the restaurant and said to Ning Shu, "Why did you run away?" Earthquake. Ning Shu turned back, but he couldn't see the man in the black windbreaker anymore. The waiter smiled. "Sir, this is normal. The virtual space is a space created by a powerful person. If there's a lack of energy, this will happen. Someone from above will take care of it." Ning Shu was speechless. Ning Shu looked around. It was as if he was making a fuss about nothing. The people on the street were just doing what they were supposed to do. Even if this space collapses, the mission enforcers have the system space. They will be teleported back to the system space. "Nothing will happen," the waiter said. Ning Shu looked up at the sky. When he turned around and wanted to enter the restaurant, he heard a voice. "All mission enforcers, leave the virtual space." This voice did not belong to the uncle. The waiter looked surprised and said to Ning Shu, "Dear customer, please leave the virtual space. I'll charge you half price for your food." Ning Shu paid the bill and asked, "What's wrong?" "That's the voice of the manager of the virtual space." "Something must have happened," the waiter said to Ning Shu before turning around to get busy. The people on the street slowly left the virtual space. Ning Shu also said to 2333, "Let's go." As soon as Ning Shu finished speaking, the entire virtual space shook violently, directly throwing her out of the virtual space. Ning Shu was speechless. Ning Shu looked around. Everything around him was void. The uncle in a black windbreaker was standing in the void. Everything around him was void, which made him very obvious. In front of him was a plane of space, which should be the virtual space. He stretched out his hand, and the virtual space shrank and fell into the uncle's hand. The uncle clenched his hand. Ning Shu's ears were filled with a loud sound, as if something was broken. Ning Shu, he broke the space? He broke the virtual space. Ning Shu's legs trembled as he looked at him in horror. The school doctor opened his hand, and the space fragments floated in the air. Finally, they rotated and gathered together, forming a new space. It grew bigger and bigger until it finally clung to the plane. After doing all this, the uncle turned around and looked at Ning Shu. Ning Shu saw a white light emitting from his glasses. He stood in the air and looked down at him. There was no wind around, but his clothes fluttered slightly. Ning Shu really wanted to chop off his long legs. 2333, run, Ning Shu said anxiously to 2333. Okay. 2333 immediately sent Ning Shu back into the system space. The school doctor watched Ning Shu disappear with an expressionless face. In a flash, she was gone. Ning Shu returned to the system and slumped on the ground weakly. Her limbs were weak. Damn, was this person the school doctor uncle she knew? Did they just look alike? She didn't even dare to talk to him. It was too scary. She didn't even dare to greet him. She was afraid that this person would kill her instantly. Creating a space was like playing a game. Ning Shu felt like he was going to have a nightmare. The uncle couldn't be this powerful. He had been plotted against before. These two people couldn't be the same person. 2333, you know him? Ning Shu asked 2333. 2333 said angrily, I'm just a system. What do I know? Okay, 2333 was a piece of trash. Ning Shu crawled on the floor and climbed onto the sofa. She lay on the sofa like a dead dog and asked, Is there no more virtual space? Didn't you see that he made a new virtual space? 2333 said angrily. Ning Shu's mind was filled with the scene of the uncle destroying the virtual space. He couldn't help but cover his heart. When would she be so strong? This was what it meant to be strong. Ning Shu calmed himself down and took out a book from the bookshelf. After reading it, he watered the potted plant. When he had completely calmed down, Ning Shu said to 2333, Let's see the next client. Okay, before you meet the client, you have to make yourself look more professional. Look more trustworthy. Don't look like an idiot. They won't let you make a comeback. 2333 said, I'm just concerned about you. Ning Shu, you're the idiot. A figure slowly appeared in the system space. It was a girl. She didn't look very old. She had neat bangs and wore loose clothes like a village girl from the 70s or 80s. She had a cloth bag slung over her body. Her eyes were very bright and there was an inexplicable aura around her. Ning Shu greeted, Hello. The girl said, Hello, I'm Tao Qin. I'll be straightforward. I want you to make a comeback to destroy the Ghost King. Tao Qin said, I'm a disciple of Mao Mountain. I met a human and ghost together and I tried to stop them but was destroyed by the Ghost King. Ning Shu, they were together, they were in a relationship. Why did you try to stop them? Ning Shu was a bit speechless. Fahai, you don't understand love. What are you talking about? Humans and demons are different. The Ghost King is already another existence in the 6 realms of reincarnation. They can't be together. Then why didn't you choose to be with the beast? Tao Qin said with her hands on her hips. Ning Shu, the ghosts were once humans. Are all Mao Mountain Taoists so troublesome? Ning Shu couldn't help but ask. Why did they have to do such a thankless job? Tao Qin brushed her bangs and rolled her eyes. Of course not. They just want to make a living with the sect. I went down the mountain to practice and got a business deal. In the end, the Ghost King was involved. I saw the Ghost King with a woman. A human and a ghost were having sex. How can that be? Ning Shu, I found a few people to make a comeback. They were supposed to subdue demons and ghosts, but in the end, they got involved with the Ghost King and fell in love with him. Fuck, Tao Qin face-bombed, that's a ghost. Although he's handsome, he's still a ghost. Chapter 730. Looking at Tao Qin's exasperated expression, Ning Shu could only say that she didn't understand love. Ning Shu said, "You're young, so you shouldn't be able to fight the Ghost King. Why did you get involved?" Tao Qin said, "I tried to get the woman with the Ghost King to leave him, so that the yin qi wouldn't enter my body and shorten my life. But I was killed by the Ghost King." Ning Shu, "You obviously couldn't bear to see them being lovey-dovey, so you made the female lead leave the male lead." Seeing Ning Shu's strange expression, Tao Qin spread out her hands and said, "People who live in the Jianghu are bound to suffer. I can accept that I was killed because I wasn't strong enough, but the Ghost King killed everyone in my faction." Ning Shu, "Maybe he wanted to eliminate the source of trouble. I can accept that, but why did he devour the souls of my faction and make them disappear without a chance of reincarnation?" Ning Shu, "He must have wanted to eliminate the source of trouble." Tao Qin looked at Ning Shu. "Can you counterattack?" "I can't guarantee it." Ning Shu asked, "How powerful is the Ghost King?" Tao Qin said faintly, "The 1,000-year Ghost King." Ning Shu, "Help me counterattack, but don't fall in love with the Ghost King." Tao Qin told Ning Shu, "I'm telling you, the Ghost King's power isn't something that ordinary people can withstand. Don't do anything with the Ghost King, or you might not even have a chance of reincarnation." Ning Shu, "Why did she say that she would fall in love with the Ghost King?" "You didn't fall in love with the Ghost King, so how can I fall in love with him?" Ning Shu said, somewhat speechless. Tao Qin said, "That's because in my eyes, he's an evil creature. He's already so old, but he's always hitting on women, as if he hasn't seen a woman in thousands of years." Ning Shu, "Anyway, it was true that the male lead couldn't control himself when he saw the female lead. Counterattack well, I'll be watching you." Tao Qin patted Ning Shu's shoulder and disappeared. Ning Shu was speechless. "Fuck, I refuse. I can't beat a 1,000-year-old ghost. Is the deal done?" Ning Shu asked. "It's done." 2333 said, "This is the last time she will be looking for someone to counterattack. You are the last one. If you still can't counterattack, this mid-level mission will be handed over to a high-level mission taker, who will counterattack." "Fuck, I didn't agree." Ning Shu almost jumped up. "Isn't it just collecting ghosts?" 2333 said, "If you're so good, then go ahead and do it. I'm doing the quest, and you're just watching." Ning Shu let out a deep sigh. If he wanted to complete a quest, then so be it. Ning Shu opened up the system exchange store and exchanged for fasting pills, water, and basic medicines. Thinking that there would definitely be a lot of ghosts in this world, he decided to bring the Soul Pearl with him. At least with the Soul Pearl, the ghosts wouldn't dare to get close to him. After thinking about it, he decided to see if there were any exorcism charms. It would be best if he could escape. If he couldn't win, then he had to run. If he was killed like Tao Qin, how could he counterattack? Ning Shu exchanged for some charms. Looking at the other artifacts, they were all gray. Obviously, they couldn't be exchanged. With the Soul Pearl and charms, he felt a bit safer. However, Ning Shu had a question in his heart. How heaven-defying was this Ghost King to be able to mesmerize the mission taker? She couldn't help but start a heart-wrenching human-ghost love story. After finishing these things, Ning Shu said, "You can enter the quest now." 2333 reminded Ning Shu, "Don't fall in love with the Ghost King. If you do, you will fail the quest." Tao Qin can't bear to see this. Ning Shu, "Stupid girl, Fahai, you really don't understand love." Ning Shu felt a wave of dizziness. She felt her soul entering a body. She waited until her soul had completely merged with the body. Ning Shu opened his eyes and looked around. He was lying on a brick bed. The room was very simple and had a bit of an ancient style. Ning Shu sat cross-legged on the bed. He wanted to see how much spiritual energy there was in this world. However, he was disappointed. After all, this was a modern world. Fortunately, with the support of his peerless martial arts, Ning Shu cultivated a strand of energy the size of a strand of hair. It looked very shabby. Ning Shu stopped cultivating and started to accept the plot. This was the story of a domineering ghost king falling in love with me. The female lead, Song Shihan, was a white-collar worker. She casually bought a piece of jade on the antique street. Then, she experienced a series of strange things. She was haunted by a male ghost wearing red clothes. This male ghost was always by her side. She went to work by his side, helping him to make things difficult for her boss. When she was bathing, a handsome man suddenly appeared in the bathtub. When she woke up in the morning, she saw an extremely handsome face facing her. Song Shihan was teased until her ears turned red. Her heart was rippling. She endured the ghost king Feng Yin's handsome face doing all kinds of shameless things to her. If it wasn't for his handsome face, she would have called the police. There was a reason why Feng Yin treated Song Shihan so well. This involved their past lives and the lives before them. In any case, it was unknown how many lives it had been. Feng Yin and Song Shihan were a pair of ill-fated lovebirds. They loved each other so much that the heavens fell and the earth cracked. For some reason, the female lead died in the previous life. Feng Yin committed suicide for love and became the powerful ghost king. After 1,000 years, the female lead reincarnated. Finally, the female lead appeared. Now, it was time to continue their relationship. Tao Qin, the idiot, ran to stop the touching love and was killed by Feng Yin. She even implicated her master and fellow apprentices. Tao Qin, the senior apprentice sister, felt very guilty. After Ning Shu accepted the plot, he sighed. Tao Qin didn't blame the ghost king for killing her. After all, if one was weak, they should be prepared to be killed. She couldn't accept that the people in her sect didn't hurt the ghost king and Song Shihan. The ghost king even destroyed the entire sect and caused everyone's souls to scatter. Ning Shu continued to cultivate his peerless martial arts. The stronger he became, the harder he would be to be killed. Senior apprentice sister, it's time to eat. If you're late, you won't have anything to eat. A young male voice came from outside. Ning Shu stopped cultivating. When he opened the door, he saw a boy taller than him. He was chewing on a steamed bun in his hand. Ning Shu hurried to the place to eat. If he was late, the steamed bun would really be eaten up by these calves. The place where Ning Shu stayed was an abandoned Taoist temple. It could not be said that it was abandoned, but there were no pilgrims coming here to offer incense. Only Tao Qin's master brought a group of homeless children to learn the Maoshan techniques. Life passed by bitterly. When Ning Shu reached the kitchen, he saw a group of radish heads around the table. They were of different ages. Most of them were boys, but there were also 2 little girls with braids and missing front teeth. The most eye-catching one was sitting at the head of the table. He had a beard and a shameless bun on his head. At this moment he was burping and picking his teeth. When Ning Shu saw this old man, a sour feeling arose in his heart. Chapter 731. Ning Shu greeted his master. The old man's name was Tao Cheng, and he was the successor of Mao Mountain's ghost hunters. The disciples in the room were all adopted by him. These children were all orphans. With the development of society, Mao Mountain's Taoist techniques were all superstitions. They were all scammers. Who would want their children to learn this? Tao Cheng found orphans and passed down the Mao Mountain's Taoist techniques, which were already very weak. Life was not good. Tao Cheng looked at Ning Shu, raised his eyebrows, and chuckled. I woke up late today. I've finished eating. Ning Shu saw that the table was full of bones. The children were still eating steamed buns dipped in meat soup. The meat soup must have been caught by Tao Cheng in the mountains. Ning Shu rolled his eyes. I'll eat the steamed buns. Ning Shu reached out his hand. The last steamed bun in the big bowl was snatched by a child. Ning Shu was speechless. The kid was eating the old man dry. Tao Cheng raised more than 10 children. It was really hard. Tao Qin was also raised by Tao Cheng. From time to time, Tao Cheng would bring Tao Qin to protect, deceive, people, kidnap, cheat. Tao Cheng was also very capable. He just liked to pretend a little. He wanted people to pay him a high price. The money he earned was not even enough to feed a large family of calves. A little boy saw that Ning Shu had nothing to eat. He tore half of a steamed bun and gave it to Ning Shu. Ning Shu took it and ate it. Good boy. When senior sister comes out of the temple, I'll bring you a gift. Tao Ching rubbed his chest. Ning Shu said, there is something I need you to do. Ning Shu stuffed the steamed bun into his mouth and asked Tao Ching, Master, what is it? Tao Ching stood up, burped, and walked towards the main hall of the Taoist temple. Ning Shu followed Tao Ching into the main hall. The Taoist temple was very old and had not been repaired for a long time. The statues of the 3 pure ones in the main hall seemed to be covered with a layer of dust. There was a smaller statue next to the 3 pure ones. This should be the founder of Mao Mountain, Tao Hongjing. Tao Ching waved in front of the statue and lit 2 sticks of incense. Ning Shu also followed suit and did the same. Ning Shu asked Tao Ching, Old man, what's the matter? Tao Ching touched the bun on his head and said, You are already 20 years old. It's time for you to go out and gain experience. Recently, an acquaintance came to find me. He has a business deal. If he succeeds, the money will be quite a bit. It will be enough for us to support ourselves for a while. Tao Ching said, Acquaintances? What happened? Ning Shu asked. Tao Ching said, Recently, his son has been possessed by a ghost and is half dead. His family is quite rich. Ning Shu thought for a moment. It should be related to Ghost King Feng Yin. Damn, I'm a little scared. Since it was dressed in red, it was obvious that it was a malicious ghost. However, Tao Ching was no match for Yin Zhen. Since then, the Dao techniques of northern Maoshan were lost, and there was no successor. Otherwise, they wouldn't be implicated in this matter. Ning Shu and Tao Ching asked, Old man, aren't you going? If you go out to gain experience, why would I go? Tao Ching rubbed his chest and rubbed out some mud balls. Ning Shu rolled his eyes. Ning Shu said, Old man, what if I encounter danger? Help me read my fortune. I don't feel good this time. Tao Ching raised his eyebrows and took out a copper coin. He muttered something and read Ning Shu's fortune. 3 copper coins fell on the table. One of them cracked. Tao Cheng's expression changed drastically. Tao Cheng picked up the cracked copper coin. Could it be something powerful? I just read it a little and even the copper coin is broken. Ning Shu said, We won't accept this business deal. It's too dangerous. Tao Cheng touched his head and nodded. We'll talk about this later. We'll talk about the training later. Ning Shu nodded. Tao Cheng said, Go to the back of the mountain and get some game. We really can't afford to raise these children. Okay, I'll go get it, Ning Shu said. Bring it back. I want to test your recent homework. Tao Cheng left with his hands behind his back. Ning Shu saw that he was full of worry. Obviously, the divination just now made him worry. Ning Shu went to the back of the Taoist temple to see if there was any game. He didn't find any game, but he did find some wild fruits. Ning Shu had only eaten half a steamed bun. He was hungry and picked some wild fruits to eat. The fruits were not tasty and were very bitter. Ning Shu ate 2 and gave up. They only managed to catch 2 rabbits and nothing else. It was not easy to raise this group of children. Ning Shu carried a rabbit ear in each hand and returned to the temple. Tao Cheng was making a group of children get into the horse stance. Tao Cheng saw Ning Shu carrying 2 rabbits. He rolled his eyes and said, Why are there only 2 skinny rabbits? Ning Shu said angrily, We've eaten most of the things around here. It's good enough to have 2 rabbits. Ning Shu saw that the children's clothes were not good. They were very old. The younger children's clothes were a little big and did not fit. Obviously, they were wearing clothes that the older children could not wear. Ning Shu face-bombed. How did they end up like this? People like Tao Cheng who knew a little about the outside world must be honored guests of high officials and nobles. It was not that there were no ghosts in this world. People believed in science, but not everyone believed in science. Ning Shu skinned the rabbits and cleaned their innards. He threw them into the pot and boiled them until the meat was soft and turned into broth. He took out the bones. He made a pot of dough balls with the broth. This thing was very good at suppressing hunger. At noon, each of them had a bowl of meat soup with a sprinkle of salt. It tasted pretty good, and everyone ate happily. Ning Shu looked at the child and understood Tao Qin's feelings of wanting to counterattack. The master who had raised her was killed and his soul scattered. As for these children who had been abandoned since young, they did not know who their parents were. They were killed when they were in their teens. The younger ones were only 7 or 8 years old and their souls were scattered as well. Their souls were given to Feng Yin to strengthen him. Tao Qin was just an obstacle in the path of Feng Yin and Song Shihan's love. After killing the meddlesome Taoist priest, he was afraid that these Taoist priests would nag and urge his woman to leave him. He might as well kill them all. He could ensure his woman's safety and strengthen his soul. In short, these dozens of lives showed that the male lead was the most powerful person in the world. He doted on the female lead. If humans bullied the female lead, he would kill them. If ghosts bullied the female lead, he would devour them and their souls would scatter. In any case, he was invincible. After lunch, Ning Shu returned to his room to cultivate. Only when he was strong could he protect this sect. After cultivating Qi Jin, he was much stronger and more agile. With the talismans he had exchanged and the spirit pearl that could absorb souls, he would probably be able to escape if he encountered a ghost king. Although Ning Shu wanted to avoid the love between Feng Yin and Song Shihan, he could not avoid the plot just because he wanted to. Ning Shu let out a long breath. Feng Yin was a cheat. He even had a group of ghosts under him. The other ghosts would tremble when they saw him. In short, he was the domineering CEO of the ghost world. If he said he would kill you, he would kill you. Chapter 732. Ning Shu intensified his cultivation. Fortunately, the Taoist temple was located in a sparsely populated area surrounded by mountains and forests. The scenery was beautiful, and the spiritual qi was slightly more abundant than in a big city with a lot of car exhaust. It was a suitable place for retirement. There was a village at the foot of the Taoist temple, but it was a very poor and backward village. Occasionally, people in the village would come to the old man when they encountered something supernatural. The compensation would be some sweet potatoes or pumpkins, or a chicken if they were better off. The old man would bring Tao Qin every time and let her learn how to exorcise ghosts. If it was a better family in town, the old man would put on an act and say that the ghost's murderous aura was too strong, and they had to quickly get rid of it. If they scared the people, they would be paid more. Even so, he still couldn't stand it. There were more than 10 mouths in the house, and they were all half-grown children. When they were growing, they were like bottomless pits. The old man originally wanted to mold the statues of the 3 pure ones and the Maoshan sect's ancestors into golden bodies, but the conditions were too difficult. The development of technology made the survival of metaphysics smaller and smaller. Now, the old man didn't want to carry forward the Maoshan technique. He only wanted it to be passed down so that it wouldn't completely disappear in the long river of history. The old man's painstaking efforts were ruined by Tao Qin. It was also because Tao Qin was young. If this was done by an old man with decades of experience, things wouldn't be so bad. Ghost King Feng Yin suddenly came to the Taoist temple. The old man wanted to protect the child, and Feng Yin was extremely powerful. The old man and the child were killed by the Ghost King, and their souls scattered. Ning Shu sat cross-legged on the bed and cultivated. He felt fine spiritual qi flowing into his pores and finally gathering in his energy center. "Girl, come here." The old man's voice was very loud. Ning Shu heard it in the room. He stopped cultivating and went to find the old man. When he arrived at the main hall, he saw the old man wearing a half-new Taoist robe. His hair was also combed into a new bun. He looked like a righteous old Taoist. Seeing him like this, Ning Shu knew there was business. Ning Shu asked, "What business is it this time?" The old man said, "It's about what happened in the village. I don't know what's bothering him, but he hasn't woken up yet." The old man looked at Ning Shu and rolled his eyes. "This time you're the host. See what you've learned." Ning Shu braced himself and said, "Oh, okay." Now, was she going to become a ghost-catching Taoist? The old man brought him down the mountain and arrived at a house. As soon as he entered the courtyard, Ning Shu felt a cold aura and his hair stood on end. The old man stood in the yard and observed his surroundings. Ning Shu also looked around. This was an ordinary farmyard. There was a locust tree in the yard, and there was a well under the locust tree. Ning Shu walked into the well and looked inside. The well was under the locust tree and the light was blocked by the branches. It was dark inside and he couldn't see the well water. The locust tree was a little big and almost covered half of the small yard. Standing under the tree, it was very cool and even cold. The owner led the old man and Ning Shu into the house. When they entered the house, they saw a woman lying on the bed. Her face was very pale and there was a faint black chi between her eyebrows. The old man pretended to pinch his fingers and his eyes were half closed. Then he said to Ning Shu, who was staring at the woman, "Go and take a look." Ning Shu walked over, picked up the woman's hand and felt her pulse. The woman was about 50 years old. Ning Shu felt her pulse and found that there was a serious blood loss in her body. In short, she had lost too much blood. Ning Shu checked her body and found that there were no big wounds on her body. It was impossible for her to lose too much blood. "Immortal Master, how is my old woman?" the woman's husband asked the old man. The old man was calm and composed. "There will be results soon." Ning Shu looked at the old man and asked, "Master, how did this happen?" "Everything in the world has spirituality. Think carefully." The old man, Ning Shu, said. Ning Shu knew that the old man wanted him to solve it. However, this should be caused by some strange thing. Ning Shu dipped his finger in cinnabar and called up the memory of the original owner of the body, drawing talismans to exorcise evil spirits. Then he drew a talisman on the woman's forehead. However, Ning Shu had never drawn a talisman before. He failed the first time. Ning Shu turned his head and looked at the old man. The old man was expressionless. He stood there and looked like a celestial being. Ning Shu dipped his finger in cinnabar again. He took a deep breath and began to draw. This time, he barely managed to draw. The cinnabar penetrated the woman's skin. The woman suddenly felt uncomfortable. Black chi rolled out from between her eyebrows. She opened her mouth and screamed. Her hands and feet danced together. The blue veins on her body bulged and twisted like the roots of a tree. It looked very scary. "Quickly hold her down," Ning Shu said to the woman's husband. Then he took out a talisman from the cloth bag and nailed it between the woman's eyebrows. Unexpectedly, the talisman slowly turned black and finally burned. The blood vessels on the woman's body became more obvious. Small blood vessels spread out around the large blood vessels. Blood vessels appeared on the surface of the entire body. Ning Shu almost jumped back. "Damn, what kind of thing is this?" Ning Shu grabbed a handful of glutinous rice and pressed it on the woman's forehead. The glutinous rice made a sizzling sound and emitted black chi. It was as if the glutinous rice was about to be burned. In the end, the woman couldn't take it anymore and fainted. The woman's husband was so anxious that his eyes turned red. His hands were trembling. Ning Shu wiped the cold sweat off his forehead. He heard the locust tree at the door rustling. Looking through the window, there were many ghosts. Ning Shu felt that it should be related to the tree. This tree sucked the woman's blood. "Immortal Master, please save my wife." The old man begged the old man. Ning Shu moved to the old man's side and asked, "Master, what should we do now? Aren't you the one exorcising the evil?" The old man said calmly, "Ning Shu, your disciples' claws are numb now. Hurry up and help." Ning Shu walked out of the room. He looked at the locust tree that was swaying without wind. The branches were swaying. It was fucking a spirit. Ning Shu said to the man, "Get some rooster blood." The old man quickly killed the rooster in the chicken pen and got half a bowl of chicken blood. Ning Shu took out the things in his cloth bag and prepared to set up a formation. This formation was something that Ning Shu learned from Qinyu. It was the Yang Gathering formation from the cultivation world. Because there were no Dharma artifacts or spirit stones, this formation wasn't very effective. However, it was more than enough to deal with the tree. After the Yang Gathering formation was completed, the surroundings became bright. The previously gloomy courtyard was now blindingly bright. The locust tree's leaves started to curl up under the strong light. Black chi slowly emitted from the leaves. The tree kept rustling and emitting a strange sound. It sounded like a person was roaring in pain. As expected, it was the tree's doing. Ning Shu sprinkled a handful of glutinous rice and chicken blood. He injected a bit of energy and used a thick cinnabar brush to draw a talisman on the tree trunk. Chapter 733. As Ning Shu drew the talisman, the locust tree shook even more violently. It actually broke the branches on its body and smashed them at Ning Shu. "Lass, dodge it," shouted Ning Shu. Ning Shu dodged in a flash and saw that the broken branches of the locust tree were bleeding. The entire yard was filled with the stench of blood. It was sticky and thick. Under the effects of the yang gathering array and the talisman, the locust tree shook even more violently. Its body emitted a thick black gas. There were no leaves, only a bare tree trunk. Its body was pitch black, but it was still stubbornly resisting. "Ah!" The woman in the room suddenly screamed. Ning Shu hurried back to the room and saw the woman sitting on the bed. Her hair was standing up, her lips were purple, and her eyes were protruding. Her eyeballs were bloodshot. She vomited smelly blood. The old man saw that something was wrong and pushed Ning Shu away. He reached into the bowl of chicken blood and pressed his blood-stained hand on the woman's face. He said to Ning Shu, "Dip it in blood and draw a talisman on her foot." Ning Shu didn't say a word. He held the woman's ankle tightly with one hand and drew a talisman on her foot with the other. The woman struggled violently, trying to break free from Ning Shu's hand. She kicked Ning Shu with her other foot, but the man beside her hurriedly pressed down on the woman's foot. "Draw on her foot and her leg," said Ning Shu as the old man tapped the woman's forehead. Ning Shu drew a dense number of talismans on her leg as black gas emitted from her body. The locust tree outside suddenly creaked and split in half. The woman's eyes rolled back and she fainted. Ning Shu was still drawing talismans. The black gas emitted from the woman's body became thicker and thicker, but the blood vessels on her body slowly disappeared. Ning Shu wanted to train his talisman drawing ability, so he drew talismans on every part of the woman's body. "Dig up this tree and uproot it," said the old man. The old man said, "The locust tree is the ghost of the wood. It's a ghost tree. The heavy yin energy will easily attract ghosts. Don't plant this kind of tree around the house." The man first asked the old man, "Is my old woman okay?" "Rest well. Stick these talismans on the door." Ning Shu took out 2 talismans from the cloth bag. The man took the talisman and looked for a few men in the neighborhood. Some of them held hoes, while others held shovels. They began to dig the roots. The locust tree's roots were deeply rooted, extending across half of the courtyard. When the tree bark was broken, it would bleed black blood. This black blood was something that even flies wouldn't bite. It smelled fishy and evil. The old man tidied up his Taoist robe and said, "This poor Taoist will leave first." The man immediately thanked the old man and asked, "How did my wife get targeted by this tree?" Actually, Ning Shu was quite curious. Why did the locust tree find a woman? Could it be because women had yin attributes? The old man said indifferently, "In fact, this locust tree is like this because of your wife. Your wife was menstruating and the blood from the menstrual cloth was poured on the tree. A woman's menstrual water is something with heavy yin energy. Moreover, it's something dirty in the body. The locust tree is a ghost tree. After absorbing this, it naturally treats your wife as a provider." The old man looked at the chicken in the courtyard and stroked his beard. He had the demeanor of an immortal and said, "This chicken also suffered an unexpected calamity. It should be released from purgatory." The man quickly gave the rooster to the old man. The old man took it and shook his head with pity. He stuffed it into Ning Shu's arms. The man gave her 2 pumpkins the size of a millstone. Ning Shu carried the 2 pumpkins out of the yard and asked the old man, "How do you know that it was caused by the blood of the woman who washed the menstrual cloth?" Although there were sanitary pads now, in a poor and backward village like this, women were still reluctant to spend money to buy sanitary pads that were thrown away after one use. The old man looked at Ning Shu in annoyance. "Why are you so unfamiliar with exorcism this time? In our line of work, we have to have good eyesight and pay attention to our surroundings. Taoist magic is not some feudal superstition. It's about observing the layout and analyzing it to deduce the good and bad of the place. There's a well under the locust tree. It's convenient to wash clothes by the well. How can there be no problems after decades of watering?" The old man shook his head and said, "It's just that the locust tree's roots are very deep. The water in the well is also not clean. The locust tree is a tree that grows through coffins. If this tree wasn't planted by humans, there would probably be a grave within a meter. Ning Shu, understood. Master is so awesome. Then why didn't you tell him? Ning Shu asked. The old man looked at Ning Shu as if he was looking at rotten wood. I already told him. Even if it's just one job, if he really dug up something, he would definitely come to me. That's 2 jobs and 2 rewards. Are you stupid? If you dig up a grave, you have to ask the ancestors to leave. If you want to look at feng shui, it's a big business. You have to dig up a grave. Ning Shu was speechless. As expected, he was still too inexperienced. What happened just now made Ning Shu feel that the world was very dangerous. If a tree could be like this, there was no need to talk about the Ghost King. What array formation did you use just now? The old man asked Ning Shu. He thought for a while but still couldn't remember. Ning Shu had already thought of an excuse. Isn't this the spirit trapping array that you taught me? Can't I tell if it's a spirit trapping array or not? The old man said in annoyance. Ning Shu thought for a while and finally said, I must have made a mistake. In the end, it ended up like that. The old man patted Ning Shu's head heavily. I told you to go and gain experience. Look at you, experience my ass. You'll be played to death by evil things. Ning Shu sighed. When they returned to the Taoist temple, the old man asked Ning Shu to hurry up and stew the rooster with the pumpkin. Master, aren't you going to release it? Ning Shu squinted. You talk too much. The old man hurriedly changed out of his half-new Taoist robe and changed into his usual work clothes. Seeing the old man like this, Ning Shu's heart ached. He wasn't in the mood to bicker with the old man and went to the kitchen to prepare the rooster. Some of the junior brothers and sisters picked up some firewood from the mountains and neatly stacked it in the woodshed. These children were quite sensible and helped when they could. The slightly older children carried buckets of water to the spring in the back of the mountain to fetch water. Ning Shu stewed the chicken in the pot and poured the pumpkin in after it was done. Anyway, this was how a big pot of rice was. Whether it tasted good or not was secondary as long as it could fill their stomachs. Now, even filling their stomachs was a little difficult. Ning Shu cooked another pot of noodles with some dough balls mixed in. The rooster was so small that it was good enough that each person could eat a piece of meat. The old man and Ning Shu didn't touch the meat and left it for the younger children. After eating, Ning Shu asked, Are the Mao Mountain Taoists living such a hard life now? Is South Mao Mountain like this too? Mao Mountain was divided into North Mao Mountain and South Mao Mountain. The ancestors of the 2 sects were not the same person, but they both practiced the 5 Taoist techniques. The 5 Taoist techniques included mountain, medicine, fate, physiognomy, and divination. Chapter 734. The 5 arts of Taoism had thousands of techniques. For example, acupuncture, medicinal powder, and pills to treat diseases, all of which had the shadow of Taoism's mysterious techniques. Looking at the feng shui of the yin and yang residents, fortune-telling, and predicting good or bad luck, it was not easy to master one. Ning Shu could not figure out why the old man was so miserable. He was also a person with real ability. In fact, the richer a person was, the more they believed in these things. Things like fate and destiny were hard to predict. A person's physiological magnetic field was changing at any time. The old man stroked his beard and said proudly, Your master was your age and had already gone out to make a living. His clients were all high-ranking officials and rich people. At that time, he made a lot of money. Alas, when he was young. Alas, your master was also a man. You know. Ning Shu was speechless. What do you know? He probably spent all his money on women. You're a Taoist. How can you face the ancestors of the 3 pure ones? How can you face the internal fist technique that you practice? Would it kill you to be a virgin? You're simply shameless and unrestrained. It would be better if the internal fist technique was practiced by a virgin. Besides, there was enough yang qi. A virgin's urine had a great restraining effect on ghosts. When a virgin's urine was needed, one could get it by unbuttoning one's pants. Ning Shu complained about the old man in his heart. People in this line of work are all divulging the secrets of heaven and offending the 5 evil spirits. Most of them are alone. Sometimes they have to do some outrageous things. The old man stroked his beard. Later, because I offended someone, I thought that I'm not young anymore and have to pass on the Maoshan technique. The old man looked at Ningshu. When I found you, you were still a little girl with a runny nose. See, when you're young, you'll have to suffer when you're old. The old man coughed and said, the array you used before was not bad. By accident, you could gather the yang qi of heaven and earth. Record it and pass it on when the time comes. I got it, Ningshu said. It would be easier to deal with ghosts if he wanted to keep all the arrays he had learned. If you delay the training, I'll be worried about you. The old man said, learn from me for a while more. Your technique of drawing charms is much more rusty than before. She and Tao Qin were not the same person. How could she be skilled in drawing talismans? It was already good enough that she was able to draw it on her first try. Ningshu wrote down the yang congregating array that he had previously used in the book. Then he flipped through various Taoist books. All kinds of knowledge were recorded in Ningshu's mind. Fortunately, he had added so many attribute points to wisdom. Although he couldn't achieve eidetic memory, he could still remember something after looking at it twice. Ningshu was reading when a hand suddenly patted her shoulder. She turned around and saw a boy who was taller than her and had fluffy lips. He was still in puberty. The boy's name was Tao Xing. Tao Qin was the oldest, and he was the second oldest. Usually, Tao Qin would go out with the old man to earn money, and Tao Xing would take care of the matters in the Taoist temple. He was the king of children. Senior sister, what are you looking at? Tao Xing's voice was not pleasant to hear, but he deliberately lowered his voice, which made it even worse. Although her looks were not bad, her voice was unbearable. I'm reading, Ningshu said. Tao Xing sat next to Ningshu and asked, what happened to master and senior sister this time? Ningshu said, a locust tree that can suck human blood. Tao Xing said, oh. Ningshu said, senior sister, I want to go with you and master next time. Tell master about this. Bear with it for a while. I'm going to experience it soon. At that time, you and master will go out to do business. Ningshu knew that Tao Xing also wanted to exorcise evil spirits and catch ghosts. Tao Xing picked up a book and flipped through it quickly. He didn't even read it. Less than 2 days later, the old man who had turned the locust tree into a spirit in the yard came again. He found Tao Cheng and said that he had dug up something at the foot of the yard wall. It was a rotten coffin. The old man was suddenly in high spirits. He put on his Taoist robe, picked up the peachwood sword and compass, and called Ningshu to prepare for a big deal. Tao Xing said to the old man, Master, take us with you. We can take a look. Ningshu said, take them with you. I'll take care of them. Besides, Tao Xing is not young anymore. He can help out. The old man glanced at the group of uneven turnips and said to Ningshu, take good care of them. Don't bump into anything. The group of people immediately cheered and followed behind the old man. The old man suddenly felt that these children had ruined his sage-like charm and professionalism. When they arrived at the old man's house, the locust tree had been dug up. The soil of the whole yard had been dug up again. The rotten coffin was exposed under the yard wall. Only a corner of the coffin was exposed. Obviously, the old man didn't dare to dig anymore. The old man asked someone to prepare a table. On the table, there was an incense burner, a peachwood sword, a compass, glutinous rice, chicken blood, and talisman paper. Ningshu looked at the things on the table and silently memorized them. This was the first time the children had seen such a scene. They were nervous and afraid. They knew that they would have to do such things in the future, but they were still afraid of ghosts. The old man called the few families that were next to the old man's house over and said, although this coffin was discovered here, it's still next to your house. You have to invite the ancestors to leave together. The surrounding families agreed and said that they would pool money together to find a place with good feng shui for the ancestors. Ningshu watched from the side and felt that the old man was definitely afraid that the old man's family wouldn't have enough money, so he had deliberately pulled a few families to pool money together. The old man began to perform the ritual with a sage-like demeanor. Ning Shu stared intently at the old man. He watched as his face turned pale after he performed the ritual. Ning Shu hurriedly brought the water to the old man. After drinking a mouthful of water, the old man said, "Dig out the ancestors. Be careful not to damage the coffin. Just dig up the surrounding soil." The old man chose a few men with tougher life providences to dig up the soil. The process of digging up the soil was very slow. The main reason was that the coffin was too decayed. It felt like it would shatter with a single touch. The bones in the coffin were probably the same. It wasn't easy for a coffin to be dug out, but another coffin was dug out. When the old man saw another coffin appear, his expression turned ugly. However, he still said, "Continue digging." However, more and more coffins were dug out. Up to now, there were already 5. Furthermore, some of the coffins even had skeletons under them. The deeper they dug, the more skeletons there were. There were also bows, rusty sabers, and helmets scattered around. Now, even the courtyard walls had been pushed down, but there were more and more skeletons. The old man pinched his fingers as they trembled. He hurriedly stopped them from continuing digging. "Stop digging. This might be a burial of 10,000 people." The old man hurriedly performed the ritual. His expression was extremely ugly. Ning Shu frowned as well. A burial of 10,000 people meant that many people were buried together. It would distort the magnetic field in this place, forming an exceptionally terrifying scene. Chapter 735. No one had expected so many bones to be dug out. Even the old man did not expect it. There was no way to move so many bones. Furthermore, the bones were mixed together. It was impossible to tell whose thigh bone was whose. There were also long centipedes crawling out of the black eye sockets. The air was filled with an unpleasant smell. The old man hurriedly got people to disperse and cover their noses to avoid the smell. Ning Shu led the group of children far away. The old man's face turned green. He could not help but rub his forehead. After dispersing the smell for a while, he got someone to fill the hole. The old man asked the old man, "What should we do with these bones?" The old man furrowed his brows. "Bury it. The safest thing now is for you to move. Don't live here anymore," the old man said. "Choose a new place to build a house. The surrounding families should move. Look for me to check the feng shui of the Yang residents," the old man said. There were so many dead people under their feet. Just thinking about it made them panic. The surrounding families all asked the old man to check the feng shui of their houses. They wanted to move. Although this deal was over, the old man asked them to move quickly. They definitely had to check the feng shui of the new house. After the soil was buried, the old man swept some glutinous rice on the soil and added an array formation. After doing all this, the old man packed up his things with a worried expression and prepared to return. Ning Shu followed behind the old man with a group of children. Ning Shu was deeply puzzled. He asked the old man, "Master, this doesn't look like a burial of 10,000 people." The surroundings of a burial of 10,000 people would gather baneful aura and resentment. Once a person fell into such a magnetic field, they would either go crazy or die. It could be said that there were no birds in the mountains and no traces of humans. However, there were a few families living in the surrounding area. There was nothing abnormal. There was basically no baneful aura or resentment. It was too unusual. With so many people buried here, there will definitely be resentment. The old man frowned. Ning Shu asked, "Then where did all the resentment and evil aura go? Could it be that someone else absorbed it? That's what I'm worried about." The old man sighed. "This evil aura will give birth to something." Ning Shu instantly thought of Ghost King Feng Yin, who could devour souls. After returning to the Taoist temple, the old man changed out of his Taoist robe with a worried expression. Ning Shu said, "Master, do you want me to check the county records and see what the history of this 10,000 burial is?" "Master, how long do you think this 10,000 burial has been going on for?" Ning Shu asked. The old man stroked his beard. "Looking at the extent of the corrosion of his bones, I reckon he's not that old." Ning Shu frowned. There was no such thing in the storyline. At this time, Tao Qin had already gone out to train and never returned. He didn't know that there was such a place. Ning Shu felt that it was necessary for him to check the county records. In this pit, there were not only human bones, but also fragments of armor, swords, spears, and arrows. It was very likely that an ancient army was buried here. 1,000 years ago, Feng Yin had killed many people in anger to avenge the female lead. After that, he committed suicide for love. Perhaps Feng Yin's bones were in those coffins. All sorts of thoughts flashed through Ning Shu's mind. He wanted to check the county records, but he didn't have the connections. Ning Shu said, "Master, let's go check the county records." "Okay, I have the connections." The old man stroked his beard and brought Ning Shu to the county government. He found a connection and said that he wanted to check the county records. Ning Shu and the old man were brought to the county government's archives and told to check it themselves. There was a computer. Ning Shu turned on the computer and searched through the files for information regarding the mass burial of the army. It was to see if an army had passed through here 1,000 years ago. When the old man saw that Ning Shu knew how to use a computer, he was surprised. "You know how to do this?" Ning Shu chuckled and said, "Actually, I often go to internet cafes to surf the net." The old man, he couldn't even afford to eat at home. Wouldn't it be great if he could use the money to surf the net to buy some biscuits? Ning Shu entered the search keyword and a lot of documents appeared. Ning Shu opened the documents one by one and browsed through them. The old man looked at him and asked, "Did you find it?" "No, maybe there's no record at all." Ning Shu moved the mouse. The old man said, "These people basically died at the same time, which is why they were buried together. There must be a record of such a large-scale killing." Ning Shu opened the document. It didn't say much. It only said that an army had fled here after being defeated and there were pursuers behind them. The two sides fought fiercely and seemed to have perished together. Okay, there wasn't much value. The documents didn't mention who the generals were or what the situation was like at the time. Too much time had passed and a lot of things were blurred. "Master, these corpses should be from two sides?" Ning Shu asked. The old man looked even more worried. Since they were enemies, even after they died, the two sides would still fight each other. The murderous aura and Yin Qi should be stronger, but I didn't notice it. I thought I was old. The old man stroked his beard. "Where did the Yin Qi go?" Ning Shu's eyes darted around, but he didn't say anything. According to all the signs, Feng Yin's corpse must be in the 10,000 burial. Perhaps the corpse of the female lead, Song Shihan, from her previous life was also inside. A thought popped up in Ning Shu's mind. "There's nothing to see. Let's go back," Ning Shu said. Ning Shu took out some money to buy some meat and some flour and rice. The old man was a little depressed. He kept thinking about where the murderous aura and Yin Qi in the 10,000 burial had gone. He couldn't even eat. After dinner, Ning Shu sat cross-legged on the bed to cultivate. When it was midnight, he took a flashlight and a shovel and went down the mountain. When he reached the old man's house, Ning Shu climbed over the wall and gently landed in the yard. He took out the Changpu from his cloth bag and clipped it to his ear. The Changpu could exorcise evil spirits. Ning Shu took the shovel and started digging. Because the soil had already been loosened once, Ning Shu dug much easier. It didn't take long for him to find the coffins. Ning Shu dug out a few coffins and stuck the shovel to the side. He wiped his hand with cinnabar and slowly opened the decaying coffins. The coffins fell apart the moment Ning Shu touched them. Ning Shu's hand was covered in wooden splinters. Ning Shu shone the flashlight into the coffin. There were scattered bones inside. This skeleton was relatively small. It was obviously a woman's skeleton. Ning Shu took a leg bone and stuffed it into his bag. Then he continued to rummage through the coffins. He took out a bone from each coffin. Then he dug the soil and buried the coffins. After flattening the soil, he climbed over the wall and ran away. The moon in the sky seemed to be covered by a layer of gauze. Staring at the moon for too long gave one a gloomy feeling. There were birds chirping around. Ning Shu walked on the path in the fields back to the Taoist temple. Chapter 736. Ning Shu had her reasons for stealing the bones. She wanted to test if the secret technique worked. After stealing the bones, Ning Shu walked for a long time without returning to the Taoist temple. The temple was not far away, but she could not walk there. The more she walked, the darker her surroundings became. She felt a chill around her, as if someone was blowing at the back of her head. Goosebumps rose all over her body. Maybe something was looking at her and licking her face. There were rustling sounds behind her, mixed with a deep male voice. The voice was very pleasant to the ears, making her feel pregnant. "I'm asking you if you're scared. Are you scared?" Ning Shu. Sure enough, a girl's body was easy to attract ghosts, especially in the middle of the night. She had encountered a ghost. Ning Shu stopped in her tracks. In this situation, she could not continue walking. If there was a ditch in front of her, who would she look for if she drowned? If there was a cliff in front of her, who would she look for if she fell to her death? Ning Shu felt the chill at the back of her head getting heavier and heavier. There was also a chill that poured into her ears. Damn, it felt like there was more than one ghost around. There were voices behind her. There was a man's voice and a woman's voice. Ning Shu suppressed the urge to turn back. Humans had 3 fires, shoulders and forehead. She turned her head and blew out the fire on her shoulder. The yang energy in her body weakened even more. What a torturous little demon. Ning Shu took out a talisman from her cloth bag. She held the talisman between her fingers and chanted a spell. The talisman burned. The cold and gloomy aura soon dissipated, and the rustling sound disappeared. Ning Shu shone the flashlight in front of her and saw that she was standing in front of a ditch. There was something that looked like water plants wrapped around her ankles. Waves of cold aura spread from her ankles to every corner of her body. She felt that her body was about to freeze, and she had no strength to resist. Damn, did she encounter a water ghost again? Ning Shu mobilized the qi gene in her body to disperse the yin qi in her body. Moreover, the seaweed was forcefully pulling her ankle, trying to drag her into the water. Ning Shu took out a talisman and pressed it on the seaweed. The seaweed emitted a sizzling sound and retreated back into the water in fright, emitting black smoke. Oh my, I'll never walk at night again. Ning Shu immediately took out a talisman and stuck it on her back, one on her chest, and one on both her arms. If you're not afraid of talismans, then come at me. However, a gust of wind blew over and blew away the talismans on Ning Shu's body. The shrill sound of the wind roared out from Ning Shu's body. Waves of yin qi drilled into Ning Shu's body. Damn, he's pushing his luck. Ning Shu rolled his eyes and took out the spirit pearl. When Ning Shu held the spirit pearl in his hand, the surrounding yin qi instantly dissipated. The ghost that blew into Ning Shu's ear was also sucked into the spirit pearl and turned into energy for the spirit pearl. This time, they returned to the Taoist temple smoothly. Very few ghosts dared to go near the Taoist temple, so Ning Shu was not afraid of being pestered by ghosts. He had encountered all kinds of things on this trip. When he returned to his room, Ning Shu took out the bones from the cloth bag and placed them on the table. Some of the bones already had holes in them. Ning Shu looked at them and did not know which bones belonged to Feng Yin. He could only test them one by one. Ning Shu took out cinnabar and applied it on the bones. Then he took out some willow leaf juice and quietly waited for the changes to happen. Not long after, some of the bones started to turn black and emit black smoke. One of the bones even moved, and the bone became as white as jade. Ning Shu held the bone. This might be Feng Yin's corpse. Ning Shu picked up the bone and tapped it on the palm of her hand. She laughed. The thing that the male lead was currently possessing was a jade pendant, and this jade pendant was something that the male lead always carried with him. In any case, after thousands of years of passing through hands, it finally landed in the female lead's hands. Ning Shu took out a cinnabar brush and drew a talisman on the bone. The bone was actually a little hot. Ning Shu drew a dense number of talismans on the bone. In the end, the bone started to become hollow and brittle. Ning Shu squeezed it with his hand and crushed it into powder. He then used a bowl to collect the powder. Ning Shu chuckled. He mixed the cinnabar and various other things together and mixed it into ink. Then, he took out a cinnabar brush and dipped it in the bone ash to draw talismans on yellow paper. using a child's spear to attack a child's shield. He would use this talisman to deal with Feng Yin. This was something that Ning Shu had seen in the Maoshan spell books. Ning Shu spent the entire night drawing talismans. The next morning, he still had to wake up to make breakfast for the group of children. Ning Shu placed the talisman he had drawn in his cloth bag and patted it contentedly. After breakfast, the old man took Ning Shu to do business. However, he let Ning Shu handle it. If Ning Shu couldn't handle it, the old man would do it himself. Ning Shu saw all kinds of ghosts. There were ghosts with especially strong malevolent auras, ghosts possessing children, and all kinds of little ghosts. This made Ning Shu much more familiar with ghost hunting. However, the old man's expression became more and more gloomy by the day. His brows were tightly furrowed. He had something on his mind. Ning Shu asked, "Master, are you still worried about the 10,000 burial?" The old man stroked his beard. "I've always had a bad feeling. In our line of work, it's instinctive to sense good and bad. Anyway, there's something strange about the 10,000 burial." Ning Shu couldn't help but say, "There's no malevolent aura. There's a malicious ghost that absorbed the malevolent aura and yin qi. That's what I'm worried about. Even now, that thing hasn't appeared. It must be something powerful that absorbed the malevolent aura of the 10,000 burial." The old man sighed. "I've lived for so long. Even if I die, it'll be worth it. It's just a bunch of kids like you." The old man was very depressed. "Forget it. If it's a blessing, it's not a curse. If it's a curse, we can't avoid it. After a while, you'll go on an adventure." The old man said, "Bring Tao Xing with you." Ning Shu was speechless. Why would he bring Tao Xing? She was going to deal with the Ghost King. Although Tao Xing had some skills, the Ghost King could kill him with a flick of his finger. "Master, I don't want to bring Tao Xing. Let Tao Xing learn from you for a while first." Ning Shu refused. The old man squinted and said, "It's good that one of you can escape. You should at least pass on the Maoshan technique." "No need. I feel that it won't be safe if I go out. What if I don't take junior brother into consideration and something happens?" Ning Shu said, "Didn't the divination say that it would be dangerous for me to go on an adventure?" "Master, I also gave myself a rough divination. It's very bad." Ning Shu said, "It'll be more dangerous for junior brother to follow me." "Alright, as long as you're happy." The old man squinted. "There's a business deal that you should take a look at. It's an acquaintance of mine. His son has been possessed by a ghost. Now, strange things are happening in the company. The company's employees are also in trouble. They've been begging me to take a look." The old man Ning Shu said, "When the time comes, extort more money. I haven't eaten meat in a long time." Ning Shu said, "Didn't you just eat yesterday?" "Did I?" The old man looked at the sky gloomily. He looked like an immortal who bemoaned the state of the universe and pitied the fate of mankind. Ning Shu turned and left to pack his luggage. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.